even by Gianni Infantino's standards. The Times is reporting that the president of the global game is planning to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors. talkSPORT's Hugo Chambray has the details.
The plan is to form a company that would take charge of the men's and women's World Cups and Club World Cups. Infantino would lead the company, then sell off portions of the competitions for tens of millions of pounds, while each FIFA member would also be given stakes worth about 15 million each.
Well, UEFA has released a statement in response saying the soul and governance of football are not assets to trade, especially with zero transparency as to who gains financially. None of us are the owners of football. It is not FIFA's to sell. talkSPORT over the next few days. Manchester City say Rory requires a short period of rehab after a minor surgery on his back, but his future remains in doubt with Real Madrid keen. Former Premier League midfielder Kevin Nolan says if City lose the Spain captain, they also lose the Premier League title this coming season.
That's why they've come short in the last couple of years since he's had them problems. I think that, he's been a massive part of them and their success, and him being injured has been the reason why they haven't been able to get over the line and go on them sort of unbelievable runs at the end of the season.
Josko Gvardiol has signed a new contract at City today, tying him down for 5 more years. Roberto Mancini is back as Italy boss after a fraught process that saw Paolo Maldini quit as the technical director when the FA there refused to appoint Andrea Pirlo for political reasons. Claudio Ranieri takes Maldini's old job. Earlier, Zinedine Zidane was officially confirmed as France boss. And while there's been a lot of focus on previously dominant British athletes' falls from the top at the Commonwealth Games, here's a heartwarming rise. At his 5th appearance at the Games, ex-bronze and silver medalist Sam Tolchard has won gold in the men's bowls.
4 years ago, we lost by 1 in the pairs final in a gold medal match. Lost the semi-final of fours by 1 and got bronze. I needed a fair bit of time away from the game. Then, it means so much.
talkSPORT News.
Teachers say Andy Burnham's education reforms will hit the skids if they're not funded properly. And an earthquake has struck Japan, killing several people and trapping others inside buildings. Sinead has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep summer journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
Cloudy across the northwest with a chance of rain. Dry across much of England and Wales with clear spells and another warm night.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Andy Oladipo alongside the dynamic, the wonderful, the great Mr. Rory Jennings. By Jingo, do we have a show for you today? English football is going to start cracking down on time wasting by combating the goalkeeper's tactical timeout. We're going to be asking whether you think it will work. Probably not. Rory gave us a huge hot take just before the end of the show yesterday. We're going to tell you what that was and whether he still believes it. Now he's had some time to think about it. I can confirm he now definitely believes it. So we're going to argue and debate this one out. Mo Salah still doesn't have a club. So we'll be asking whether you'll take him back at Liverpool or would you take him to your club as we look ahead to a brand new Premier League season. And the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith, is going to join us on the show. Loads to talk about, including what happened, not just in Saudi Arabia, what happened in Thailand. Tyson Fury beating Marius Vac. All that plus, we'll discuss what it means to be a £100 million footballer these days. And we'll take a look at a few of today's transfer rumours as well.
You're allowed to get your freak on with your curtains open, aren't you?
What was that? Play it again. Play it one more time so I can hear it.
You're allowed to get your freak on with your curtains open, aren't you?
Oh, jeez. Why did you feel embarrassed, Mr. Jennings, for your own words? You said it.
I mean, I can't work out. I have no idea what that is. I'm slightly shocked.
You're allowed to get your freak on with the curtains.
I would never have said that.
Well, you clearly did.
I mean, I did
it's not
say
AI, is it?
But I don't believe that. I don't believe that you should be doing that. I think that you should be very courteous to your neighbours. You shouldn't be getting your free con with your curtains.
It almost depends what show he said it on. I feel like he would get away with it. Probably Sports Bar.
What was I talking about?
Bar.
Mate, this is what happens sometimes.
This is a great start to the show.
I have no idea what that is.
You have no idea what the things you say. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Say? Yeah. Some of the things I say, I can't remember, and I don't know what I said.
Yeah, no, I take no responsibility. I will not be held accountable for my own actions. They are not my words. I can't believe what I was talking about there.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well. It's always a joy to talk football with you for 3 hours, sir. Very, very well. There's loads going on as well, isn't there?
There is. I mean, we just heard there, Mancini back in the hot seat for Italy. Jurgen Klopp in the hot seat for Germany. Zinedine Zidane, we'll talk about a bit later, in the hot seat for France. I mean, look at the quality of managers in international football.
Yeah, I think it's quite impressive as well how quickly this has all happened.
Yeah.
Like Germany had a pig's ear of a World Cup. They got launched out of a World Cup by Paraguay and suddenly, bang, they bring in the best possible manager that they could bring in. You would say the same about various countries. They've had a terrible situation and they've put it right. Portugal got a new manager. Like, they've made it happen. What is going on with Italy?
Yeah.
I just can't understand it. Italy's such a glorious nation when it comes to football.
Especially when you think of the potential, like the calibre of managers that they can choose from.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can take your pick, can't you? You can say, like, how they've allowed Carlo Ancelotti to leave Real Madrid and go to Brazil rather than somehow detouring back to his birth country is crazy.
But it's criminal what's happened to Italian football. How this has happened over the past, say, 2.5 decades.
Sure.
It's unbelievable.
I actually hate it.
Some of the best managers
watching it.
Yeah, well, do you know, I'm of the opinion, let's say Italy qualify for the Euros that are here in a couple of years. I know I'm probably wrong here, but in my head, Italy are always potential winners.
They could still win it.
Oh, God, you wouldn't want to play Italy.
Agreed.
If Italy were in the World Cup, the next World Cup, let's say they get there and England end up playing, God, it'd be amazing. England end up playing Italy in Casablanca. It'd be a great game, a great fixture. I think, God, I've got to go. In my head, I'd be like, well, Italy can beat us.
No, but
we've become the Italy. Right, we're the team knocking on the door. We're the team making it to semi-finals. We're the team making it to finals. Mate, they're not qualifying.
Mate, 20 years ago they won the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that long ago they won the Euros.
Yeah.
Over here. Yeah.
I mean, the last time they were in a tournament, that's what they did.
It's crazy, isn't it?
No, it's wild. It really is.
Who is their best player?
At the moment, it's worrying.
Who can anyone just tell us in the game?
No, it's worrying.
Who's Italy's best player right now?
The star man is probably like Tonali. The star man. Yeah. And look, we touched on this yesterday.
Donnarumma, they just said in the
Donnarumma. Yeah. We touched
your goalkeeper's your best player.
Yeah, or Tonali outfield. Yeah. Like, we touched on it yesterday, Eddie. I think it's a real testament of where Italian football has gone. Though they always had that romanticism around that position. You know that position, the Totti position.
Yeah.
Gianfranco Zola.
Baggio,
Del Piero, Signori.
Yeah. Ooh.
That was their...
Toto Schillaci, if you're doing this.
That was, that position that operated just behind the front man, almost a free role, and would dictate the tempo. Like Alessandro Del Piero, when I was growing up, was one of my favourite footballers.
Yeah.
Loved watching him play, loved the way that he would play the game, loved watching him in that glorious Juventus kit on European nights. And it's just gone to pot. Like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if they have a Lily Shaw or a St. George's Park, but they need it.
They don't have, look, the Italian league once, obviously the most expensive league in the world, right?
Yeah.
Everything was there. The money was there. Because they don't have the money anymore, you'd think they would create better footballers. Because they can't go out. They can't go out and buy them.
Buy Klinsmann or buy Bergkamp like they used to.
Why are they not producing them? Where are they at Juve and the both?
I think that Calciopoli scandal has rocked the foundations of Italian football.
Realise how much it rocked them because it was such a long time ago, and maybe they're feeling the effects of it now. All right, we're going to start with a new rule coming to the Premier League next season. So, are we about to see the end of the tactical goalkeeper injuries?
Nick Pope is down injured, the Newcastle goalkeeper. He sat in the 6-yard box. Manchester United played on initially. The referee has stopped the game.
I've not seen a collision that's caused the problem.
You get that break and clear, and the referee can't. You can't make a goalie go off the pitch. So you might get 2-3 minutes.
And now it's bending the rules. The momentum is lost. One of the world's best is been given an opportunity to give vital information to his team to settle them down, and the momentum change.
Yep, English football's had enough. It's going to implement a trial to try and eradicate the goalkeeper tactical timeout this season, which is horrendous. Nick Pope, just one of many, to be fair, that's guilty. If a referee signals that the physio can come on to treat a goalkeeper, that team's coach, well, this is vital actually, will have 10 seconds to nominate another player to leave the pitch for 1 minute. If no player has been selected within 10 seconds, the captain must leave the field. Former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher joined the Sports Bar last night and was asked why this trial is happening.
It's not the time, it's the breaking up play, isn't it? because it normally happens towards the end of the game. I mean, you played. You're playing for Liverpool in Champions League. You're playing, say, AC Milan, and suddenly they decide to break up play by players going down injured. That stops your momentum, and inevitably, they may be a goal in front, so they're hanging on for dear life, and that's how they break up play, isn't it? And I think that was the idea. Isn't they really want to take a player off for a minute? They want to stop the cases where, as I said, I don't want to pick on Donnarumma, but the case where Farke said, he's not injured. He's done that deliberately to break up play.
Matt Gallagher there, speaking to the Sports Bar boys last night. Do you think this is now almost something discussed within sort of team meetings, club meetings, about wasting time like this? Do you think this is almost a thing?
I think it would be naive to not think that these conversations happen. I think that you can see in excellent teams, you think of even the most glorious Barcelona side, the tactical foul, if a team were to break, obviously you would rotate the person that would commit the foul to make sure that the momentum of the opposition is stopped. I think it's almost become part of football. Whether you like that or not is kind of not the point. I think that teams now will adopt the idea of a tactical foul, the idea of a tactical timeout, the idea of making sure that you buy your team any kind of advantage that you can is employed. And I'm glad that this is happening.
Do you remember? I'm trying to think of when it was. It must have been early 90s when the back pass rule was kind of...
Yes.
Where goalkeepers could no longer pick the ball up.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. I just remember Schmeichel doing it for some reason. It's in my head. Like, he used to do it a lot for the international side. Let's just pick the ball up every second. And obviously they ruled that out. I almost felt like that worked. I don't see how this does. I don't see how this is going to work.
Well, I think the reason that it should work is the deterrent. Because if you push it, you're going to get a player off. An outfield player is going to come off, and that is a major detriment to your team, isn't it? You're going to end up playing with 10 men, and if no player goes off, the captain goes off. That is going to be majorly problematic. That is going to be majorly problematic to that team. So the reason it should work, and if it works to its fullest potential, it will basically mean that keepers don't do this.
Yeah, but what if a goalkeeper is injured?
No, but I think that's...
No, but what if a goalkeeper is really injured? Then what? Then what happens here? If a goalkeeper is really injured, who determines whether or not a goalkeeper's play acting, trying to waste a bit of time, or is really injured? And this is my issue with this. There's going to be a lot of grey area between, no, he's actually really injured, or he's... Like, how do you know if a goalkeeper's play acting is what I'm getting at? How do you know? The only person that really knows is the goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? How do you know the goalkeeper's injured?
But even if you are legitimately injured...
That's not fair. So I'm legitimately injured and we have to go down to 10 men because I'm injured. Makes no sense.
I don't know how they'll. I don't know how they'll do that. But even if you found a problem, you must also concede that this is needed. That the stop-start nature of football is problematic. The enjoyment of fans around the world is hampered by the constant stop-start nature.
I think. And my only solution, and it's probably the wrong one, but my only solution is the stopwatch theory. Like, if a goalkeeper goes down, you just stop the clock. You stop the clock, because ultimately, as you say, they're trying to waste time. Don't allow them to waste time by stopping the clock. Saying, look, it's fine, you can stay down as long as you want. We're not going to start the clock until you get up again.
But it isn't only about the time, is it?
It's about the as you say, the stop.
It's about the momentum. Like we saw the impact of an intrusion.
Don't you think there'll be a
momentum.
stop-start? Sorry to cut across you. Don't you think there's a stop-start nature if you then have to nominate a player? The player has to come off. Then the player comes after. Then the player has to come back on.
No,
again.
but the reason why I don't think it will happen, and if this motivation, if this works in its fullest capacity, the reason why this is a good rule is because the punishment is so draconian that people won't do it. I think that effectively what you're going to do here is your own team are going to go, get up, we're going to go down to 10 men in a minute.
Almost a bit like the yellow card for diving.
Yeah, it
hasn't really eradicated diving.
No, that's true. But what should happen here is, unless you are genuinely injured, you're not going to go down, because the penalty will be you're down to 10 men.
Yeah,
you're down to 10 men at a crucial junction of the game. Like I quite like the idea. I do think something. Whether we've managed to pick flaws in this, whether you've actually managed to identify,
by saying whether or not the goalkeeper's really.
Well,
injured.
you found a problem.
Yeah,
I do agree, because the only person who can often know is the person who is suggesting that they're injured. But something needs to be done, because it has become a major problem in Premier League football. Like, this is an epidemic, and it does need to be looked at. I'm optimistic that this will work. I'm optimistic that the penalty of going down to 10 men will put people off feigning injury. If you're down and you're not actually injured, your centre-half is going to go, get up, we're going to go down to 10 minutes.
There's nothing worse, and this isn't just attributed to goalkeepers, there's nothing worse than a player rolling around and then they're bouncing up 10 seconds later.
Oh, no, there was that period. Like the one I always think of that. Do you remember that hilarious one? When it was Jens Lehmann versus Didier Drogba at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, go on.
When they were both, can you not remember? It was an amazing, and like Didier Drogba, incredible units, power, both of them incredibly powerful in the peak of their powers. And Didier Drogba sort of touched Jens Lehmann, who like hit the deck as if he'd been walloped by Evander Holyfield. Yeah. And then he gets up and touches Didier Drogba. And Didier Drogba goes down. It's like, can you two just stop this? Like everyone, nobody's winning here. Yeah. This is like pathetic from both.
Who's the player that rolled around when he went down and had a look at the ref? There's a player that kind of
David Luiz.
Look at the ref, can you see me?
Yeah, one of my favourites as well. Do you remember when Rivaldo? When the ball bounced up and hit Rivaldo, he's going to take a corner and the ball was kicked to him. Yeah, he pretended it hit him in the face. So look, all of these things that we're kind of laughing at, David Luiz rolling around and kind of giving a wink, there are countless examples of players play acting in order to con a referee to get an opponent sent off. Something needs to be looked at here. And if you've identified a problem, if this isn't going to work, I'm still supportive of it because it's moving in the right direction and it's trying to solve a problem that I do believe needs to be fixed.
Yeah, my only concern, as I said, is the fact of how do you know someone's feigning an injury or not? I think that's the only problem. The assumption that every goalkeeper that goes down to waste time, I think, is a dangerous one. But again, what are the solutions? All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo alongside Mr. Rory Jennings. We are taking your calls next. The phone lines are open. They're always open. Will we actually see the end of tactical goalkeeper injuries? I don't think so. Will this trial make a difference? I don't think so. What do you think? 03717 22 3344. Come and have your say.
What do you make of the noise over the last 24 hours that Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck are being heavily linked as to be players for Chelsea this season?
I can see the reason why. I can see why, Alonso done it when he was at Leverkusen. He brought Xhaka in. He had a few, older heads to play with, a lot of the youngsters, what he had in and around the squad to help him, because that's what they do. The older players help the coach, the manager, because they can see it. They've been there, they've done it. And I can see why, Danny obviously had a great season last season, very unlucky not to get the call up to the England squad. Jordan, obviously, a freak accident at the World Cup. Yeah. And probably because I think, when you look at Jordan, everyone sort of forgets that he was Liverpool captain, won the title with Liverpool, played all them games for Liverpool, and you don't do that and play at a top level club like that if you're not a top level player. So again, you can see he's got he buys into an environment. He buys.
Not singing? Don't fancy not the same song?
Boogie Wonderland. I live in a boogie.
Go on then.
No, I'm not. It's one floor. One floor. I'm totally tone deaf.
Okay.
And so as are you, by the way. I've heard you.
I'm certainly
I've been in your car. Abysmal.
I'm certainly not going to try and sing. All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Addy Oladipo, Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo, Style and Brands for every single man. Still to come, we are going to be joined by the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith. Loads. And I mean loads to talk about. How long have we got with him? We might need an hour.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's great to talk to.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Great to talk to, and
difficult to get a word in. Difficult to get a word.
I'm sure you're managed, mate.
A friend of mine. Difficult to get a word.
People could say the same about you, and I'm
and you, it. And they say about you as well, but it's fine. Just quickly, Man City are bracing themselves for a bid from Real Madrid for Rodri. Rodri and Jude Bellingham together. Give him a Champions League.
I think Rodri has to go to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think he has to. Like the player that he is, the icon that he is. Also, it's now or never. He's 30.
Yeah, he has to go. Also, and I think him at the World Cup proved that he's still the best in the world.
Yeah, I completely agree. Also, don't you think when you look at that Real Madrid side, if it's so clear as day what they need is a Rodri character. They need somebody in the midfield there. And Mourinho. Can you imagine what Mourinho will think of Rodri? He'll fall in love with him.
I'm still shocked Mourinho's got the job.
I think...
Ain't you shocked that Mourinho at Real Madrid just doesn't... It feels like 15 years ago.
Addy, I think it's the right decision. I know that's quite a left field shout, but I just think that there is a very particular time where Jose Mourinho is the answer to the question, and I think this is it for Real Madrid.
Yeah, maybe. All right, Zinedine Zidane, Zizou, has been confirmed as a new France boss. Maybe there's a perfect time for them as well. Didier Deschamps did so well, but obviously, ultimately, the big goal was to win the World Cup. They fell short, getting knocked out in the semi-finals by Spain, the eventual champions. I think them and Spain are going to go back and forth for years, by the way. Zidane, 3 Champions Leagues, 2 league titles as Real Madrid manager. Our producer, Joe, said he would prefer Gary O'Neill.
I mean, that's
what he said. That's what he said. Sorry, Joe.
It's
That's
funny,
what he said.
But do you know what's crazy? Obviously,
he's crazy.
Joe crazy. We know that.
Crazy.
That's well established. But what is crazy about Zinedine Zidane is that for some, he still has something to prove in management. People will genuinely say, "How good is he really?" Whereas for me, I know this is a very simplistic outlook. I just think he's amazing.
I'm so confused.
Why do people say?
Is it because of the longevity? There is none.
No, I think the argument. I don't agree with this, but the argument is. He's been incredibly fortuitous. He's got a job that he wasn't really entitled to. He's jumped the queue. He was put in charge of a Real Madrid team that was one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Yeah. He won and retained again a European Cup. And that's doing some heavy lifting when actually discussing his managerial ability. I don't agree. I think that the geezer won 3 European Cups in a row. I'm not ready to have any conversation other than the fact that he is elite.
Types of managers. I think Jurgen Klopp's that kind of motivator, isn't he? It will come and spin down. Yeah, builder. Whereas Pep Guardiola's tactical. I think Zidane's almost just, I walk in, everyone does their best. I just walk in. Yeah, I come in and look at me and you know who I am, what I've done, you better play good.
But what doesn't resonate with me at all, and I just can't get my head around it. For me, and I appreciate, I look at things in a very simple way with football. I just think Zinedine Zidane has to be seen as one of the best managers in the world because of what he achieved. Winning La Ligas, winning European Cups, doing a canter, going back there, being successful. I just think that he is clearly one of the best managers in the world. But I think if you were to ask most people, they would still suggest that he has something to prove. And they would say that going into that Real Madrid team was a tap-in. They would say that... I think a lot of people will say going into this French team is a tap-in.
Managers prior to him didn't win the Champions League, didn't win the league. It was Barcelona dominating, and he came and stopped the domination. As you read out his accolades before we came on air, 2017 he won 5 trophies.
Okay, look, we live in an era of philosophy.
3 Champions Leagues and 2 league titles.
Okay, look, I don't agree with the word I'm saying here. I love the bloke, but if I were to ask you Jurgen Klopp's footballing philosophy, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Heavy metal football, baby.
Pep Guardiola's.
Yeah, tactical.
You know exactly. What is Zinedine Zidane's football
aura?
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's aura.
Yeah,
follow him on Instagram.
Do I follow?
Fantastic.
No,
Just follow him.
15 years old, mate. What do you do? Follow celebrities.
So if I go down your Instagram, I know you follow.
I follow people. I follow people that I know. I follow people that I know. I follow people that I know in real life. Do you follow celebrities? Do you follow Beyonce? Just follow him, Beyonce.
I follow the former Real Madrid manager, and for me, one of the greatest players ever to pick up a pair of Predators. That's who I follow.
No, I love Zidane, but I do think it's weird that he does still have something to prove in management.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be tough on him. I say tough on him. He's not managed since 2021. It's been a long time. That's a long time, by the way, out of management.
It's not for him though. He is football, isn't he? Ever since he was like in Marseille as a kid or playing at Bordeaux. He just is football. He's never really having any time out. He is the embodiment of modern day football.
You know, I was thinking about, obviously, look, we heard a bit earlier on the news that Mancini's back, and Mancini, I mean, he opens up his CV, it's fantastic, it's filled. So is Jurgen Klopp, now the German manager. So is Zidane, the French manager. Where's the England managers coming from?
Yeah, we have a problem.
Massive problem. Okay, who is the top England manager that we can get right now? Let's say Tuchel says I'm
the best English manager.
Who is the best English manager we can get right now?
Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe at Newcastle is the best we have.
Miles away from. I mean, those are names, right?
I have a theory.
It doesn't matter for international football.
No. I have a theory as to why it's so bad.
Okay, go on.
I mean, look, I don't think our own FA help. I mean, our FA appointing a German manager doesn't help young English managers get opportunities. How can we possibly expect our clubs to give English managers an opportunity when our own FA turn our back on English managers?
Yeah, but the Premier League has given England managers the opportunity. Young English managers have got an opportunity in the Premier League and they've not delivered. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think some. I think some.
But the ones that you would hope, like the comparables to the Zidanes in terms of name and star power.
Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Scott Parker. Do you know what I mean? Like big names.
Yeah, I guess
given opportunities. And
the golden generation, for one reason,
all of them failed.
Yeah, there is
Frank's coming with Coventry. I think Frank will do good, but the rest of them have all failed. Wayne Rooney failed.
Yeah, that is a problem. There is a problem, isn't there? And I can't quite put my finger on why. Because in theory, Wayne Rooney should be a phenomenal manager. Ashley Cole should be a phenomenal manager. Steven Gerrard should be a phenomenal manager. And as of yet, it hasn't gone that way.
And even Jermaine Defoe stepped down.
Yeah, he was there at Woking.
Stepped down recently.
Yeah,
for like a couple of weeks. Yeah. Stepped down.
Yeah, I can't understand. Also,
why have none of them landed?
And also, another sort of pertinent question around this: why are Spain producing such elite level managers?
Scary.
It's like when we were young, it was Italian and Dutch, wasn't it? Yeah. It was the Italians and the Dutch that were producing the managers. Dick Advocaat, Lippi, whatever. Now it feels Spain. And Guardiola,
the conveyor belt. And it's the
Xabi Alonso,
Mikel
Arteta.
Like, who knew Andoni Iraola? The ones you don't know. Yeah. You know the Cesc Fabregas of the world because we've seen him.
Yeah.
It's the ones you don't know. Iraola's come from nowhere.
Yeah.
He's got the top job of all top jobs.
If I pushed you here for an answer, particularly with regard to the English problem, why have the golden generation of England, the golden generation, say the players that played for England in the 2002 World Cup, class act after class act, why, as so far, the story is still being written, but why have none of them managed to succeed as managers so far? What is the answer to this? Because it can't be coincidental. It can't be. There must be a reason.
And you know, I don't know the answer. And B, what's even more scarier is that Lampard was under Mourinho, top manager. Gerrard was under Benitez.
Yeah,
they've all been under.
No, they've all played
Rooney,
under
Ferguson.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't learn from them and somehow find your managerial pathway, then
is it that they can't convey the methods? Is it that? Or is that too simplistic?
I think it's too simplistic.
It's a fascinating problem, but the answer is Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe is England's best representative in this conversation at the moment.
All right, still to come, we are going to be joined by the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith. But first, it's time for no Googling. All right, we've been discussing goalkeepers. We want to know, can you name... Oh, it's a good one. Oh, it's a good one.
Go on.
You ain't going to get this. You are not
getting it right now. I'm going to ruin the game for everyone. Okay, go on, I'm going to get it right now.
Okay, all right. Can you name all 6 keepers to have scored in the Premier League? Go on, 20 seconds.
Paul Robinson.
Yeah?
I'll tell you after break.
No, give me one more. Give me one more. There you go. No. All right, break. Let's go.
Chaps, how are you?
We're good, man. How you doing today?
Morning,
you all right? You well?
I'm all right. Goldstein, are you on a wind-up with this Kane to Chelsea thing?
Well, no. I asked I never said it. I asked the question.
Yeah, you done it on purpose, so I'd ring up, didn't you?
Sol Campbell went to Arsenal, didn't he?
No, I knew you was going to come
Tevez
up
went
with
to Man
that.
City. It happens. Definitely happens.
Listen. Kane is proper Tottenham. Don't you know that? Don't you know that?
I know he's proper Tottenham. I know that. I don't think he would do that.
course he wouldn't. So why are you talking about it and winding me up
Jeff,
for?
Let me ask you this.
All night.
Jeff.
I've been working all night on a night shift, right? I'm going home,
Yeah.
right? I was all chilled out and relaxed, looking forward to going home.
Now you're all bitter and... Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters. But it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the tax man at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo, Rory, Jennings. A few months ago, we brought you our first no Googling of the afternoon. We've been discussing goalkeepers, and the question was, can you name all 6 keepers to have scored in the Premier League? Rory, you got, what'd you get? You got Robinson.
Robinson, Peter Schmeichel.
Yep.
I vaguely remember it.
Yep. You did get Alisson in the break.
Alisson,
well,
of course, at West Brom.
3 more.
No, I don't know. Go on.
Brad Friedel.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
No, you don't.
I do. It bounced over. I do remember.
Who was he in goal for?
Tottenham.
Nah, see what I'm saying. Blackburn Rovers. All right, Tim Howard.
Can't remember.
Yeah, Everton versus Bolton, 2012. And the last one, Asmir Begovic. I don't remember that. Stoke Southampton, 1-0, 2013. Nah. Can't remember it. The one that is vivid, obviously, is the Alisson one header.
That when I said Sorensen,
you meant Begovic.
Begovic, yeah.
Begovic.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
All right, still to come. We are going to be settling it. John Stones, but I can't believe this is a thing.
It was against Sorensen.
I can't believe this is a thing. Yeah, okay, yeah, we've moved on. John Stones or Virgil van Dijk, we're going to debate for some reason. Rory wants to do that with me. I don't know why he's going to lose, but now it's time for this.
There's a real feeling that this is the best versus the best.
White's lost control. White has lost control completely.
How many more do you want?
Lift off for AJ!
This is The Voice.
Okay, it's time for The Voice, the man, our weekly boxing feature, where we're joined by the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith, for a roundup of the latest boxing stories. Adam, how are you, my man?
Good, Addy. I'm very good, my friend. Lovely to see you in Saudi for a few days. I'm out in Ireland. Looking forward to Saturday night with Pierce O'Leary and Mark Chamberlain. But yeah, just down in West Cork for a few days.
All right, there's only one story in town, Adam. Well, there's a couple, but there's one major story because Anthony Joshua got the job done in dramatic fashion on Saturday night live right here on talkSPORT. AJ did recover from being knocked down twice before stopping Christian Prenga in the second round to set up that fight with, well, it might happen, with Tyson Fury later this year. There's been plenty of conspiracy theories flying around about what happened in Prenga's corner between the two rounds. His manager, Keith Sullivan, joined myself and Rory on Drive yesterday and tried to clear things up.
Christian had gotten very sick leading up to the fight. He didn't spar or train for 2 weeks before he got to Jeddah. He had 102 fever, and he was in bed for 8 days straight. We brought a doctor into camp. He moved camp over to Dubai. So he brought a doctor in, drew some blood to make sure there wasn't something more serious going on. And they said he was just run down, and they thought it was a flu or a cold or something, and he would get over it. And it took 14 days. So we had the last 7 days before we went to Jeddah for training. We had a sparring partner there in Dubai who we didn't use at all because he just had we couldn't get him out of bed to go for a walk. In the first round, he came out and just gassed himself out.
Keep silent. I say, look at me trying to add to the conspiracy theories. I'm not. I promise I'm not. I'm just saying them for the sake of saying them. Adam, come on, I'm going to bring you in. Me and you were ringside. You were commentating on it. It almost felt like you was commentating on AJ's last fight ever there for the first minute or so of that fight. How surprised were you? How shocking was it to see? Try and sum up if you can.
Yeah, I mean, it was heavyweight carnage, wasn't it, really, for 5 minutes? Interesting what Keith said there about Christian not being well in the build-up. I had a long chat with him on the Wednesday of fight week, and funnily enough, I didn't think he looked very buoyant. So maybe there's some truth in that. But he certainly came out absolutely firing in those first minute and a half, 2 minutes. To have AJ down within 20 seconds, an uppercut he didn't see, a right hand, I think, troubled him before. 2 knockdowns were counted. He was saved really by the ropes at one point as well. I thought his career was over. It was quite an eerie feeling, actually. Obviously, everybody knows what's happened to him outside of the ring, and I think we were just really pleased to see him back in. But the fact that he was a huge favourite and that Christian Prenga had never boxed anywhere near the level of a 2-time heavyweight champion, it was shocking. But at the same time, we knew Prenga could punch. He had 20 knockouts in his 20 victories. And AJ looked like, he was fighting for his very career. And that minute break, obviously, was what he needed to get himself back together. I thought his legs had completely gone in the first round. Carl Frampton and I kept looking at each other saying, is there an injury? Has something gone with the leg as well? It was a terrible first 3 minutes. And it looked like his career was over. But you can never write off a puncher. And when he got his legs back and he started to plant his feet and get behind the jab in the second round, I think he hurt Prenga fairly early. Yes, why didn't Prenga jump on him? There is that debate, I guess. But AJ got to business. And the knockout, I thought, was like a vintage AJ. It was such a strange, surreal couple of rounds. One of the most dramatic 2-round fights I think I've ever remembered.
Boxing's always a sport where there's always going to be, and there always will be, I guess, dubious decisions. There'll be strange performances to the point where people will start sort of creating up conspiracy theories in their head. What would you make of the conspiracy theory regarding Christian Prenga in that second round? Maybe coming out and not closing the show, so to speak. I mean, Simon Jordan's taken to Twitter, and we know how Simon Jordan likes to let sparks fly with his own opinions. What would you make of the conspiracy theories running wild?
Yeah, Simon's opinion's always worth listening to. It's and there's debate and controversy that have come from it. What I think that maybe he put so much into the first round. There was a slight lack of experience, possibly, on... He should have finished him off within the first 3 minutes, and he didn't, and he went back to his stool. Maybe the opportunity went. Barry Jones was saying, why are you not jumping on him? Why is Christian Prenga not doing that? So I can see why people might say, well, what is going on? But the truth is they're in a heavyweight fight. Christian Prenga is about to change his life. He has Anthony Joshua down almost out in the first round. Why on earth wouldn't he want to go on and win that fight? I guess beforehand, look, he knows he was there as a stepping stone, as a warm-up fight, just like Marius Vac was for Tyson Fury ahead of the Joshua Fury fight. But these things have happened in boxing history. Tommy Morris and Michael Bent. Who'd have thought Danny Williams could have gone over and stood up to the man that was the most intimidating heavyweight of that generation in Mike Tyson? Andy Ruiz was given very little chance against AJ in the Garden. I think Christian Prenga wanted to win that fight. You could see him in tears afterwards. So I think maybe inexperience, maybe an illness beforehand, maybe AJ got his feet back, maybe the fact that Joshua hurt him early in the second round, a number of factors. But no, I don't go into the wider conspiracies, not for this. Not when two heavyweights are fighting for millions of dollars. If Christian Prenga had won, his whole life changes forever. As it is, he'll get paydays and big fights because of the way he performed and how courageous he was. But if he'd won it, wow, he's right in the mix then. So no, I think he wanted to win that fight.
Adam, Paul Smith said something very interesting in commentary that I'd love your thoughts on. He suggested that AJ has come back into the ring too soon off the back of that horrific car crash that he was involved in last year, and he actually said that it might be the right thing to do to knock the Fury fight into next year. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, I think Paul Smith's a very good observant of boxing. I think he knows it thoroughly. I think it's worrying how AJ was vulnerable in that first round. And you think back to Daniel Dubois a couple of years before, he'd only had the Jake Paul fight in between. He's obviously enjoyed his time with Alexander Usyk's team and got himself into tremendous shape. And maybe it was that conditioning that helped him as well in between the first and second rounds. But yeah, it's very tough what he's had to endure. Only he knows what he felt like in the ring. But he got the job done. So, I mean, some people are saying he should retire. Some people are saying he should fight Fury and get out. So to pull that into next year is another few months. Does he need another warm-up? I don't know. It's a difficult one. He's back in training, I hear, this week already. That's a good sign. He won the fight. He got the W. Ultimately, he got up and was victorious. So the Fury fight will happen, I think, and I think it will happen in November.
We haven't seen any footage of the Fury fight apart from a few clips going around. A couple of social media people out there filming for their YouTube channels have kind of revealed a few things. So it's difficult to, I guess, judge Fury's performance against Marius Vac. But the fact is, it was almost billed as two semi-finals, right? Fury get the job done. AJ get the job done. If they do get in the ring, let's just, for want of a better argument, say they get in the ring November. That's what we're kind of led to believe. How do you see it playing out?
Well, it's fascinating and always has been with these two, the titans of British heavyweight boxing, the polar opposites. And at times I thought Tyson Fury would win that fight over the years. At times, maybe Anthony Joshua, when Fury was on his back against Wilder a few times. And I thought maybe Joshua would have the power. Now, yeah, they're right at the end of their careers. I think it could be a level playing field. People were saying after Tyson's performance against Marius Vac, the people that were there, the people that saw clips of it. I tried to get to Thailand, but it wasn't possible. And what I've heard was that it was like a spar, and what we've seen sort of backs that up. I guess it was advantage Joshua after that, but then after Saturday night in Jeddah, everyone would say it's advantage Tyson Fury. So ultimately, stars make fights. The two of them have always been well matched, and I think they are again still. You could pick Fury now by knockout, but you could pick Joshua by knockout because he has so many through his resume. But I think it's going to happen in November. I'm led to believe Madison Square Garden is the front runner. I think it should happen in Britain, but if it's to happen anywhere, then I guess a place with a history of the Garden is the best other option. But I just think we need to see them in the ring, and I think they should make their money and get out. You know, both of them. I think they've given us everything in spades, in drama throughout the last 15 years. And the new generation, the Moses Atamas, the Adi Kabayels and the others, it's their time now. So I'd like to see this fight happen finally. It still stops traffic in Britain. Britain wants to see that fight. And I still see it as a pick-em. I mean, maybe Tyson the slight favourite on the back of what happened on Saturday, but Joshua can knock anyone out.
No, that he certainly can. I think we saw that on Saturday, regardless of how the first round went. Final one, Adam. Obviously, I'm going to be seeing you on Saturday. Let's talk about matters closer to the timeline now. Pierce O'Leary versus Mark Chamberlain at the Free Arena. He's almost taken the baton, if you like, with Katie now maybe one fight away from calling it quits, and the likes of Kache getting on in age. It's almost he's now, isn't it? Irish boxing. He's going to fill that Free Arena, no doubt about it. It's a crazy sound when it's packed. And that's a really good fight as well, Pierce O'Leary versus Mark Chamberlain.
For Irish boxing, they've got 3 big shows in Dublin within 5 weeks. I'm heading up there on Thursday for the press conference. Can't wait to see Pierce. He lives just near the 3 Arena. He sells, as you said, thousands of tickets. Reminds me a little bit like the way Ricky Hatton or Josh Warrington or real big ticket sellers from a city get their people behind them. And that's what Pierce O'Leary did. The atmosphere for his last fight was thunderous. And Mark Chamberlain is a really exciting fighter himself. So it's a terrific matchup. It's a great card as well. I love Dublin as a city. And you're right, as Katie Taylor bids us farewell on September the 5th, Pierce O'Leary may be the one to carry the Irish flag. And certainly he's popular. Certainly he's fun to watch. And it'll be a great night on Saturday.
You know what? You're scaring me, Adam. The phone's moving. I'm like, is he on a boat? Or is it just the phone's wobbly in his hand? I'm like, is he balancing on a boat? Or look. Doesn't it look like that? It looks like he's on a boat, doesn't it?
It's glorious.
I'm not. It is. It's a small fishing village called Union Hall, and in the background is Glandore, which is one of my favourite places on earth in the southwest corner of Ireland, the mystique of West Cork. I'm not on a boat, but I am on a jagged rock, so it's not the most comfortable. But I had to come and talk to you guys, and listen, it's good to see you, and I can't wait to see you at the weekend, Addy.
Indeed. Thank you very much for coming on as always.
Cheers, Adam.
Top man, Adam.
Cheers, guys.
He's got the voice, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just grown up with it. I'd like to hear him commentate on football. That'd be interesting.
No, he's a great talker. Great talker, always worth listening to as well. And I think the insight that he brings with regard to boxing is
second to none. Honestly.
Second to none.
What he knows, you know what I mean? It's just okay. The thought of AJ Fury in Madison Square Garden. Would you fly over?
Potentially, actually.
Okay.
I would. The only reason I wouldn't would be on protest. Patriotic protest. It should be here. Like it feels like such an obvious thing that it should be here. Yeah. You know if it was two juggernauts of American boxing.
Imagine that.
I wouldn't dream of it being in Wembley. I wouldn't dream of wanting it to be in Wembley.
Like Errol Spence, Terence Crawford was at Wembley.
Yeah, you just
like what?
You just wouldn't ask for it, would you?
No, wouldn't dare.
Wouldn't
even be a thing.
Out of respect, you wouldn't even want it. No. Like this is one of the biggest nights potentially of British boxing ever.
No, it's obviously one of the biggest nights of sport.
Do you think Wembley? If you were to pick the venue,
it's got to be Wembley.
Do you think Wembley over say Tottenham? I know it's bigger,
just because it's the national stadium, and as you say, it's an extra 30,000 seats, extra 30,000.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, look, that's the kind of fight that I would get involved in. You know, I went to Vegas. I went to Hatton Mayweather. Yeah, there are certain things that you just have to go to, right? I went to Ben Eubank, the recent one, the recent one. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. Yeah, I wasn't at Old Trafford. Yeah, not that old. But no, this was one that I think I'd have to go to. But I would be very disappointed if it ends up being in the States. But it does feel like that's the direction of travel, doesn't it?
I'd have to venture out there as well, unfortunately. All right, when we come back, we're going to speak to John Cushion. We're going to get the latest from the Commonwealth Games.
Junior situation is interesting because I think when it came out of the weekend that Arsenal were keen, we all thought, well, how can they do that deal? He's on 400 grand a week. He'd smash Arsenal's pay structure. Yeah. Real Madrid, even though he's stalling on signing a new contract, are going to want a six-figure sum. But if they sign Diamonde, as looks likely, how do the two fit into the same team? And I think what's really interesting here, and Ben Jacobs, I think, has mentioned this a couple of times, they've got the same agent, Vinicius Junior and Jan Diamonde. So would his agency take Diamonde to Real Madrid knowing that he's going to compete with Vinicius Junior? I don't think Vinicius Junior to Arsenal is as fanciful as maybe it first appeared.
Now, when you look at Arsenal, they probably will. They've just got rid of Trossard.
Yeah, Trossard's gone.
So that's a space need, and they've only got Martinelli on that left hand side. So they do need somebody else.
bless you. Good choice. I'm about to have a dig. I'm just about to have a dig. I know. I take it back. I take it back, yeah. All right, Jamiroquai, I can't say anything. All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo and Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo still to come. We're going to be asking the question. Get involved in this one, by the way. Text us 81089. Who is better, Virgil van Dijk or John Stones? No, it's a serious question. It's a serious. I know. No, it is. It's a serious question. Who is better, Virgil van Dijk or John Stones? Give us a call, 03717 223344. Just quickly though, Roberto Mancini has been confirmed as the new Italian man. Can you turn this song up? Can't talk over this, it's so good.
Yeah, no, it feels rude.
I feel bad, yeah. Just let it play for 20 seconds.
Oh, God, turn it off. He's starting to sing, Jack. He can't let this happen.
Right, Jack,
Trust me, I've been in the car with him. He's the most tone-deaf man I've ever been around.
All right, turn it down. England international Hannah Hampton has signed a new 2-year deal with Chelsea. And now that it's time to get an update on the Commonwealth Games with BYD.
Commonwealth Games update on talkSPORT with BYD. Dare to dream with BYD and the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, from 7 o'clock on talkSPORT 2, you can hear live coverage of the Commonwealth Games from Glasgow. And we will, of course, keep you right up to date throughout the day on talkSPORT. Let's get the latest now as we bring in John Cushion, who's been there for talkSPORT since it began. John, what's the latest? Bring us up to date so far.
Well, in the last hour, Wales's Ruby Evans has won gold in the women's floor final. She's the world silver medalist. She had tears earlier this week after some of her performances, but happy tears this afternoon, I would suggest. England's Abby Martin, another silver. Shante Amankwa winning the bronze for Team England as well. So a clean sweep for the home nations there. England's Luke Whitehouse won his third Commonwealth Games medal of Glasgow 2026, his second silver, this time in the men's vault. England won 2 golds in the bowls. Scotland have won a gold as well in the mixed para bowls. Wales and Northern Ireland also getting bronze medals. Sarah Davis Smale has just won the silver in the women's 63-kilogram weightlifting for Team England. She's a 33-year-old Olympian and her 4th Commonwealth Games, another medal for her. 5 guaranteed medals for England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland after quarter-final wins in the boxing at lunchtime. We've got another 8 home nation fighters going this evening. And also this evening, Adi and Rory, we've got athletics in the rain and swimming in the pool. You can be here as well. Check out glasgow2026.com for ticket details. And as you say, the Commonwealth Games is live across the talkSPORT network.
Amazing, absolutely amazing opportunity. John, while you just mentioned it there, can we stick with what's been going on in the swimming pool? Because we heard swimmer Adam Ramsey-Peaty say that nothing makes sense anymore after he had to settle for bronze. It's not been a great week for him so far, has it?
No, it hasn't. I think it's an interesting story this week. Rory, to be honest. He's won 2 bronze medals and he's obviously disappointed. I spoke to him after he'd won his first bronze medal. And I say won his first bronze medal because what I think he needs to remember is that winning bronze medals doesn't happen to everybody. I know he wanted gold, but actually winning a bronze when he only decided that he wanted to carry on after Paris a year ago. He's had lots going on in his world. He's about to become father for a second time, obviously got married and etc. So there's lots going on, and what he's targeting is an Olympic gold in LA in 28, and that's 2 years away. And the reason why he wants to do that, he thinks that the 50-metre breaststroke, which is the shorter distance, the one he won the bronze for last night, is something that he can do. I think what he's slightly frustrated about is that he feels he's working probably as hard as he ever has, but he's not getting the same results. And I'm not saying anything about what the change of his coach and all that, and he says he's happy with that and how it's gone. But he is of an age. He's 31 years of age. And as you guys know, and I certainly do, I'm a lot older than you, things don't always necessarily go the way you want them to. And Max Whitlock is finding this out on his return to gymnastics. He's not at these Commonwealth Games, despite coming back for Team GB to go to those LA Olympics. It's just you pick up things that you don't necessarily, or you didn't used to pick up. So I think he's still got time to get back where he wants to get to. What the issue is, everyone else has got better, Rory. Philip Navaki, he's the first Brit to beat him in 4 years. He's a youngster, and that's the opportunity. But that's why you do sport, because you want to compete against the best. So I think Adam Ramsey-Peaty, he'll reflect probably. I think what he said last night is, I need to now think of myself as a normal human rather than being an athlete first. And I think that's a healthy thing,
John,
to be brutally honest.
Sorry to cut across you, John. Can I quickly ask you about...
No, not at all.
About the tickets for the Commonwealth Games. Obviously, look, I think it's it's a great thing for people to watch sport, especially when you can watch sort of numerous sports at the same time and you can go up from here to there to there. There's always been this conversation about ticket prices. I think there was a complaint about the London Diamond League, hence why they're trying to sort of refurbish Crystal Palace, because that was always the cheaper ticket. Now the London Diamond League seems to be quite expensive in Stratford. And I do remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, I do remember an article, it must have been October last year, about the Commonwealth Games and ticket prices. Are they reasonable in comparison to previous Commonwealth Games for a family, say, that wants to go up to Scotland and watch the athletics or watch the gymnastics or the swimming?
What they will say, what organisers will say, Eddie, is that there are tickets available for as cheap as £3. But what are you watching? And that's where it all boils down to. We've got the men's mile here. I'm in the Scotstoun Stadium at the moment. We've got the men's mile, the first round tomorrow with the likes of Josh Kerr and Cam Myers from Australia, and that's the Saturday night. It's the end of the athletics programme on Saturday night. Now you're not going to sell tickets for that for £3.
No.
So I think there is a lot of opportunity to come and watch live sport and pay a very little amount of money to do it. But is it the live sport that you want to watch?
Yeah.
And I'd make the same argument if it was a Premier League football club, because if there's someone willing to pay the price, then ultimately that's the price what people are going to start charging for. Yeah, exactly. So look, there are opportunities. There are a lot lower prices there have been, and look, thank goodness that Glasgow stepped in, because these games wouldn't have happened. So then we'd have been sitting here going, well, what are we all doing for 2 weeks? There's no sport going on because the Commonwealth Games was cancelled by Australia 18 months ago. So well done for the organisers for doing that. But I think, look, there's always going to be an issue over prices. Some people think it is too expensive for certain things. I think if you want to see world-class sport, and we know these athletes aren't getting paid to come and do these games. They don't get paid this way. We know that. It's a whole argument about the Olympics. You ask Greg Rutherford about it. So you've got to look at the price of tickets and what it means to come and see world-class athletes.
Top man, John. We'll speak to you a bit later. Thank you.
No problem. See you in a bit.
Cheers. John Cusson there. There you go, giving us the latest from the Commonwealth Games, including the ticket prices. All right, that was all thanks to BYD.
Commonwealth Games update on talkSPORT with BYD. Dare to dream with BYD and the Commonwealth Games.
All right, I can't wait for this, because when we come back, I've been waiting for this since yesterday, and my energy's ready for it now. John Stones versus Virgil van Dijk. Get involved as well. Text us 81089. Give us a call 03717 223344. It's simple. Who was better, the Man City defender or the Liverpool defender?
I've read this a couple of times now. I can't help but think when he comes up with lines about people criticising the refereeing decisions and puts lines in his quotes such as "I'm sorry you missed it all," I can't help but think there's a little dig towards the head of UEFA there, Alexander Ceferin.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Obviously, Ceferin decided to stay away from the World Cup final, which was quite unprecedented. FIFA were briefing, actually, that was a pre-planned decision, but the message coming out of UEFA very much was that it was a protest by their president. Actually, I picked out a couple of screenshots, and he does talk about some of the refereeing decisions and says it's curious the same countries employing these practices are the ones criticising. He's talking about the decision to overturn Flo Balogun's red card, which for me was probably the most shameful moment of this World Cup. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite, Andy. You were there. Troy obviously lives out in the States. I had a wonderful 5.5 weeks. I thought it was a brilliant tournament. I thought the American hospitality was terrific. But let's not pretend it was perfect. He also talks about bringing two countries at war together, uniting two countries at war. Says Iran entered the United States without incident or conflict. I think they would push back on that when you look at the travel restrictions that were imposed on their players. And obviously the manager was quite outspoken about that. So I'm not sure why he's felt the need to do this. You know, it spreads across 15 slides on Instagram.
From From the Toffees to the Tractor Boys, the Eagles to the Seagulls, Gunners, Bees, Hammers and Magpies, Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire is also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves two club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles." And some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them. Like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Good afternoon, just gone 5 o'clock. You listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo alongside Mr. Rory Jennings. Still to go. By the way, you know when we was doing the top 5 British sports stars, someone messaged me and said, "So Chris Hoy."
Yeah,
right.
That's a good shout.
Spot on. Yeah, he would definitely make the 5.
Yeah,
did we?
I don't think we came up with a finite list, did we?
No.
I don't think we did.
No.
I think we agreed Sir Bobby Charlton was number 1 though, both of us.
It's Chris Hoy, Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. Steve Redgrave.
And Dame. What did Greg say again? Daley Thompson?
Daley Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm standing by Jessica Ennis.
Johnny Wilkinson.
Potentially.
That's it, fine.
Do you think it's Johnny
Wilkinson? He's still standing by
I'm standing by Jessica Ennis.
Yeah.
It was one of the best nights ever when she won that. Absolutely one of the best nights ever. 2012.
That's when Greg won his long jump gold.
Yeah.
And Mo Farah won his, I think it was 10,000 metres.
Should Mo Farah be in this list?
Should be close.
Should Andy Murray be in this list?
Should be very close. I think Andy, because he won Grand Slams around Roger Federer, Djokovic and Nadal.
I think we need to come up with a definitive list. The top 5 British.
We'll do it before the end of the show.
Wait, Gareth Bale, the best export. It's the best export that we've ever had. Do you think he deserves a mention here?
You know what? Now you said it.
He's the best footballing export ever. Gareth Bale, if we're doing the best ever, surely he has to come.
It's a good shout, you know.
Scoring bicycle kicks in European Cup finals for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It's got to be up there.
It's a good shout. It's a good shout. All right, still to go on. We're going to be asking what makes a £100 million footballer these days. That's obviously because of Morgan Rogers and Elliot Addison going for silly money. But now it's time to settle yesterday's debate.
Van Dijk, 1-0. The Netherlands lead. It's Virgil van Dijk nodding them in front.
I think he's the most complete. You think for 3 years, Virgil van Dijk was probably 9.5 out of 10, wasn't he? He was exceptional.
Looping header in for 3 from John Stones. It's 2-2 for him.
He is a key player for us as a starter or as a substitute, as a part of the team, because of his quality first of all, but also his mentality.
Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. Take a bow, Virgil van Dijk.
John looks like he was my son. He's one of the most adorable professionals and lovely persons.
You know what made me laugh in that whole clip, yeah? I think we've just summed it up already. Thomas Tuchel, what he said. He's a key player for us, whether as a starter or as a substitute. The word substitute would even be uttered about Virgil van Dijk. Imagine someone saying that to Virgil van Dijk, even at 40.
No, I think a substitute. No. You're massively cherry picking.
I'm not saying. No. Sorry, they just played the clip. No. They just played the package, and it was Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, saying he's a key player for us, whether as a starter or a substitute.
This is appalling from you. This is the very definition. You know when Donald Trump's moaning about fake news, it's you.
Sorry, I just basically quoted what the England manager said.
Okay. How important is context? The reason that he spoke like that is because he was accused of taking an injured player to a tournament. So the reason that he said he's going to be a key player for us, whether he's a substitute or whether he's a starter, is because it was suggested that you shouldn't take a player who has had an injury-ravaged season.
Oh, no.
So therefore,
injury-ravaged career.
Injury-ravaged career, fine. But the reason that he was talking about being a substitute...
I feel bad here because you're about to make me bury John Stones, and I don't want to. I think John Stones is a fantastic human being, fantastic defender.
You're not going to bury him.
Maybe England's greatest defender... Maybe it's 50, 60 years.
He's England's greatest defender since Bobby Moore. Of course he is. He's England's greatest defender. If you look at what he's done on an...
big statement.
Hang on, can we just talk about John's
statement?
Addy.
There's
a moral victory for me in this debate already.
You're saying, look what he's done, because you're going to say Gareth Southgate went to the semi-final, went to the final of the Euros. That's not him. No, that's the team. That's not him personally.
But that's the point, isn't it?
With these two, you've got to look at the individual accolades, because you're going to say things like Man City have won 20,000 trophies under John Stones. Let's look at the individuals.
No, but individual performances lead teams to historic seasons.
John Stones has never, ever been the most important player for Man City.
John Stones.
Never, ever. He's never won a Man City Player of the Season award. He's never even been in the voting for it. He's never been a key member of the Man City when it comes to winning. When you say Man City in terms of trophies, you'll say Aguero. In terms of the early iteration, you'll say David Silva, De Bruyne, Rodri, Haaland. You maybe even say Sterling. You'll say Edison. You'd never say John Stones.
1.12 centimetres. That's why you say John Stones.
That's quite good.
So when you say you never say John Stones has never done this. 1.12 centimetres.
For those that don't know what you're saying, can you explain, sir?
Of course. Yeah. Liverpool would have won the league that season. Liverpool lost one game that entire season. They lost one game. And the reason that they lost one game that entire season and didn't win the league, the year that Man City won the league, was because John Stones produced as a season-defining clearance off the line. So when people talk about like great moments when teams have won the league, you want to talk about what Arsenal did at Anfield in '89. You want to talk about what Aguero did against Queen's Park Rangers. People should talk about, we always focus on the goals, don't we? It's up for grabs now. Yeah. Aguero, you focus on that. What John Stones did, 1.12 centimetres to clear that ball off the line. One City.
Never been so angry at a man in my life.
It won Man City the league.
Yeah.
So when you say there hasn't been the moment, yeah, there's the moment.
Has John Stones ever been the best centre-back in the league?
Yes, he has.
When?
I mean, in terms of when, I would argue that John Stones, being at the heart of a Manchester City defence, a Manchester City team that retained a league title for 4 years in a row, won a treble, allowed Pep Guardiola to almost redefine the way that teams play football. What Pep Guardiola did, and he chose John Stones to do, was win a treble. The way that they won that treble was because of what happened to John Stones.
Absolute nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
That's all, because he dropped into the middle. He played less minutes in that treble-winning season than Akanji, than Nathan Ake. In the treble-winning season you're referring to, he played less minutes than all the other centre-backs.
It was a tactical innovation.
He played less minutes than all the other centre-backs. He wasn't even integral there. If you're playing less minutes, you're not even integral.
You are integral.
You're not the main person.
He's man of the match.
You're a bit part act.
Man of the match in a Champions League final and played 30 games in all comps that season.
You're a bit part act.
You're not a bit part player if you played 30 games in a treble-winning season.
Of what would have been about 64. So he played half the games in a treble-winning season.
But in terms of when you're used, he started a Champions League final.
Whereas
man of the match in a Champions League final.
My guy, Virgil van Dijk, apart from the injury season, has played 50-plus games every single season he's been at Liverpool. In fact, he's played every minute of every Premier League game, barring the injury-hit season, since he's been at Liverpool.
One of the biggest tactical innovations that we have seen in this country for a decade is what Pep Guardiola did with John Stones, bringing the ball out of midfield, starting Man City attacks, deploying himself as a midfielder.
We've seen defenders do that before. Rio brought the ball out. Rio used to ball the ball. Alan Hansen, the great Alan Hansen, used to jog the ball out.
Hansen, perhaps. I genuinely don't know. I know that he was excellent on the ball, but no, Hansen, perhaps. I don't know enough about the tactics of what was going on at Liverpool in that era. But John Stones became a midfielder. Rio Ferdinand never became a midfielder. He never had the midfield responsibilities, the on-the-ball midfield responsibilities that John Stones had.
Yeah, but this isn't a midfield debate. This is a centre-back debate. If we're doing a midfield debate, it's almost like we could have him about John Terry then. This is a centre-back debate. Who is the better centre-back?
He was a centre-back who, when on the ball, was deployed as a midfielder because he was so good on the ball, because his passing range was so on point.
My centre-back, at his peak, has been in the FIFA Pro World 11. The FIFA 5
Pro
times.
World 11. What are you, 8?
FIFA Pro, what your player? Okay. He's Premier League player of the season. which your defender never. You backed him.
No, it's not my defender or your defender. What I'm saying is, he went to Manchester City as one of the first signings that was made by Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, and
he's outlasted Pep Guardiola at Man City.
Not really.
Well,
he's gone.
Okay, he's been there for the entirety of Pep Guardiola. So Pep Guardiola, when they were spending all of that money, when they had all of those riches, when they were winning all of that silverware, he was an ever-present. They never ever felt like they needed to move him on. They never ever felt like they needed to improve upon him.
He was dropped.
I think he was dropped through injury. He's
been dropped. There was a time when he clearly preferred Laporte and Ruben Diaz.
No, but they would
clearly.
No, that would be through injury. It would always be Stones and company. Then it became Stones and Diaz. Then it became Stones and Laporte. It was always Stones plus one if Stones was fit. Always. And the way that he played for Man City, the amount of trophies that he won, like he's won as many league titles as Rio Ferdinand.
Mate, no argument with that. Absolutely no argument. I think he's a fantastic defender, but you're talking about Virgil van Dijk, who at one stage in his career wasn't considered the best defender in the world. Let's be honest about it. Was considered the best player in the world. Like, he was favourite for the Ballon d'Or. People say he was robbed of the Ballon. So this is not even a defender discussion. He was considered the best player. Yeah. John Stones. John Stones has never been considered the best defender, let alone the best player. He was considered the best player.
I think there was a season where Van Dijk outshone Stones. I think there was definitely...
No. Every season.
No, not every. Of course.
Every season.
What, the season where Stones won the treble, he was outshone by Van Dijk, was he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course he wasn't.
Every season. Mate, he wasn't even a starter for City then. Every season, Van Dijk has been in the Premier League with John Stones, minus the Southampton ones, obviously. He's been better.
When Pep Guardiola
he came back from a ruptured ACL and still better than John Stones.
When Pep Guardiola decided to innovate and change that role and responsibility of a centre-half, he asked John Stones to do it. Think of the centre-halves that he's had the opportunity of working with before. Yeah. He didn't ask Puyol to do it. Yeah. He didn't ask Gerard Piqué to do it. He didn't ask Ruben Diaz to do it. He asked John Stones to almost redefine what the responsibility of the centre-half.
John Stones is a top 5 Premier League defender of all time? Because I know you don't think too much of Virgil.
I think
John Stones is the top 5.
I think he's certainly now in the top 5. And I also think
above Vidic.
Above
Nemanja Vidic.
Yeah, I think he's better.
2 Premier League Player of the Season awards.
I think he's better than Vidic.
Yeah.
I think John Stones is better than Vidic.
Sol Campbell.
I think he's better than Campbell now.
Tony Adams.
I think Tony Adams is different.
Why is
Tony Adams is different
time?
because Tony Adams embodied Arsenal in a very different way. It's something that doesn't really happen in football anymore. Like, when I was young, Tony Adams was the personification of Arsenal. That moment where Tony Adams scored that goal against Everton, and he puts his there's a statue immortalising that moment. When somebody he's a cult hero. Adams. He's an amazing player, but he was also a cult hero.
Is that John, in terms of a personality, like Virgil van Dijk is just the enigma, isn't he? He's just colossal. He looks like he's about 8 foot tall. John Stones just kind of gets on with it and doesn't really. There's no airs and graces.
And I say this as a compliment to John Stones, but he's not at all newsworthy. He's not at all newsworthy. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know his wife's name. I know John Terry's wife's name. I know the story of various footballers because they're almost tabloid-like. John Stones is just a consummate professional who's never put a foot out of line, who has done his job to the maximum of his potential for 10 years. He has served Man City for 10 years, for Pep Guardiola's entire reign, in the most dominant period of club football in this country's history.
Yeah.
And for some reason, and I'm not suggesting you're part of this because I know you respect him and I know you rate him very highly, but I don't think that people really rate him that highly.
I think,
of course, he's better than Vidic.
No, there's still a Man City thing, isn't there? I mean, me and you have spoken about this before, and it's taken Rodri to win a Ballon d'Or and Kevin De Bruyne to maybe be the best ever to even get into the debate. There's still this City thing where we don't give City players the respect. Maybe they.
I think if John Stones has had exactly the same career at Manchester United, we're talking about him as like an all-time great. I just don't know what it is, but I also think it's the personality. But a lot of the personality, I see as a compliment. Like, for England duty.
I think it's not being ever present though. I think you're skipping over this. Like, John Stones has never played for Man City more than 30 Premier League games a season. Never. And he's been there, as you say, a decade. Yeah. I think he's hit like 28, 29.
Yeah, but
the last two seasons have been 9, 11.
Yeah, but but he's been there for a decade. So Jaap Stam, for example, is a great example of a top class player. But he doesn't have anywhere near the longevity. So I know what you're saying. Yeah, John Stones, his only flaw really is injuries. But that's it, isn't it? If you and it's not injured like Campbell, Ledley King was injured. It's injured, but still plays 30 games in all competitions.
Apart from, and we're going to take calls on this in the next session. Please get involved in this. I know there'll be a lot of Liverpool fans, maybe a couple.
No, this is the problem. Do you know what the problem is? And this is why you're going to win.
Why?
It's because I'm backing the Man City player, and you're going to back Rio Ferdinand and Virgil van Dijk. So you're going to have the two biggest, like, monoliths of this country.
Two biggest fans. Get involved, fan bases. Get involved.
Exactly. I'm holding back the tide here on my own. I need Man City.
You're going to struggle to hold back this tide, I'm telling you. Apart from, because you keep talking about it, bringing the ball out and jumping into midfield, what do you honestly, no BS here, what do you honestly think he can do better than Virgil van Dijk?
I think on the ball, his passing ability, the way that he is as a footballer on the ball.
Oh, come on, even that. See that passing thing you say? Come on. Virgil van Dijk, not as good as Terry on his left and right, but Virgil van Dijk was just known for that 40-yard ball to Salah. There
must be. If there's one thing that you're ready to fall on your sword about, it has to be John Stones on the ball.
It doesn't.
John Stones. It's not only can you ping a 40-yard ball, can you ping a 60-yard ball?
Do you think?
It's not only that. It's short passing.
You know what the biggest question?
Crisp passing.
The biggest question is.
It's interchanging with Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne.
You know what the biggest question is? You ask any striker worth his salt, who would you rather come up against, John Stones or Virgil van Dijk? What do you really think the answer would be?
But you can't present this as fact because you haven't.
Striker, get Benty on the phone.
But
get Benty from his Portugal mansion. Get Benty on the phone right now. Ask Benty who would he rather come up against, John Stones or Virgil van Dijk?
This is a straw man argument because you don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer.
You don't know the answer because you're presenting it as if you're right. No, but neither Gabby Agbonlahor nor Darren Bent played football against John Stones, did they?
No, but they're strikers.
No, let's find out an answer.
Get a current one.
Yeah, let's find out the answer.
Who have you got in your phone book?
I don't know anyone. I'm clinging onto your coattails for a career. I don't know anyone. you phone someone up.
You guys at home get involved. 03717 223344. Who you taking? John Stones at his pomp or Virgil van Dijk? Let us know.
But you didn't let me finish because.
Vinicius Jr. I'll read this from the Telegraph Sport, their sports pull-out this morning. Dom King writes, Arsenal prepared to offer Brazilian forward Vini Jr. the biggest contract in the club's history as they plot to outline their soaring ambition. He currently commands a weekly salary, 400,000 euros a week at Madrid, but Arsenal would look to improve that to maximise their chances of pulling off an audacious coup. It kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it, boys, on Saturday afternoon. He's got a year left on his deal at Real Madrid. Arsenal exploring the possibility, Troy, of signing Vini Jr. Is it going to happen? And if it does happen, where does this rank in Premier League history in terms of biggest coups for the Premier League, not just Arsenal?
If it did happen, it would be amazing for the Premier League to have a superstar on that level in terms of global appeal, blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't like it. I don't think it suits the way that Arsenal play. I don't think his personality suits Arteta.
What do you mean his personality?
I think he's a massive diva in regard to like what he wants, what he needs. And I don't think he would buy into the collective. And now that would be something new for Arteta to have to deal with, right? Because he's all about the group. So How do you have Saka on one side, who's the captain, has done everything right, and then you bring in this guy and go, oh, by the way, everyone, give him the ball, and you have to keep giving him the ball. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't think it helps Arsenal.
So politicians, at this time, I think you better keep your distance.
I feel like our guy here is trying to apply for a DJ job, playing all the tunes this afternoon.
Mate, you gave him a compliment, so he's gone mad.
Look at him now.
He's dancing.
Look at him. Jeez. Are we allowed to play these songs? All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo, Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo, Styling Brands. For every single man still to come, we're going to be asking, if you'll take Mo Salah at your club, I would certainly take him back at Liverpool. Open arms. Now, though, let's get straight to it. We're taking your calls. It got a bit heated in the last section between me and my good friend Rory Jennings. Who are you taking in your pomp? It's very simple. Virgil van Dijk or John Stones? I can't believe this is even a debate. 03717 223344. And of course, I'm going to go to the Liverpool fan first. Dylan, what's Rory talking about? What is he talking about?
Well, to be honest with you, mate, I haven't got a clue. It's probably one of the maddest, poorest questions I've ever heard on talkSPORT. I think individually, if you're going to look at what John Stones has won, fair enough. But if you're going to look at Virgil van Dijk as a defender, I don't care who you are as a striker, as a winger, you're just not putting up with it at the end of the day. John Stones...
Oh, he's just...
I think he was about to agree with me.
He was just about to hammer you there.
I think he was about to agree with me.
But that's clearly,
one. Okay, that's 1-0. Rory, next caller.
That's 1-0, Ade. Next caller. All right, let's go to Lee, the Man City fan. Lee, take it easy on me, please. But look, he's clearly highly rated. You would have watched him week in, week out for nearly a decade. I mean, it's Virgil van Dijk, really, the answer is, Lee. But how good was John Stones?
Well, I'll say this, Rory, you've had some controversial opinions, it's fair to say, about certain City players in the past, but you are absolutely spot on about John Stones. There is a reason. We've seen some incredible players at Man City over the last 10 years. Incredible. There's a reason why John Stones is one of the highest regarded out of all of them. He is an absolute club legend. And that is because he is massively underrated. His abilities at centre-half, he was a mainstay next to Ruben Dias in the treble-winning season. He can play at right-back. He even played the Champions League final in the number 8 position. Now, tell me whether Virgil van Dijk has ever won a treble. Has he ever played at number 8 in the Champions League final? Has he ever won 4 in a row? This isn't things that John Stones was incidental.
Liverpool didn't need him to play an 8 when Liverpool won the Champions League. Liverpool had a number 8 to do the job there already. We didn't need a centre back to go into number 8 position. No, but he was needed to go into the 8.
No, I'm not being funny. City didn't need him to, but what we could do is we could control the game a lot better. Are you telling me in that season we didn't have other players who could play the 8?
You know what's very interestingly as well, when you say he was a mainstay alongside Ruben Dias, almost like Ruben Dias is the mainstay of that partnership, as opposed to John Stones, and I think that might be the problem. When you said mainstay alongside Ruben Dias, it made me sound, I could be wrong, that Ruben Dias was number 1, John Stones was number 2. Well, he almost sounded like it wasn't
that,
that's what he sounded like there when he said it.
It wasn't. When it was Ruben Dias, John Stones was always the first one. It was John Stones plus 1. Whether it was John Stones plus Company, whether it was John Stones plus Laporte, whether it was John Stones plus Diaz, it was always John Stones.
As good as John Stones is, and by the way, I think is a top 10 centre back in the Premier League in its entirety. And that's saying something. You think of how many good centre-backs there is.
Yeah.
Is he really, though, individually better than Virgil? Like, individually. Like, just forget the teams, just man for man.
Yeah, I think they were very different players. But you've got to look at, I think a lot of what carries through in people's minds with John Stones is those early days at Everton, when he was ready to play that style of game, but Everton weren't.
Yeah.
He got pulled up a lot for mistakes early on in his career, and I think people carried that with him. His period of time at Manchester City, I mean, he was at times, I would describe him as being, we talk about the Rolls-Royce player. I would say he was a Rolls-Royce centre-half. He literally had everything about his game. But then at the same time, he could just quite as easily slip into right back and be as good as Kyle Walker almost in a lot of instances. So when you look at his completeness of his game, I think he had more than Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk was very good at what he did, but he played in that one position right the way through that period of time, and they always struggled to find the right partner to go next to. John Stones could go next to anybody.
Do you almost feel like then he's a when I think they used to say this about James Milner, because James Milner could play left back, right backs, all the positions in the midfield, you almost underrate him because he can do a bit of everything. Do you almost feel like John Stones, that maybe takes away from his game because he can do everything rather than just you're going to be the right side of centre back?
Yeah, I think to a certain degree there probably is a little bit about it, that people just remembering kind of moving around a little bit under Pep Guardiola, and of course in all of the systems that Pep used to play, it meant that a lot of players moved around, so probably there is a little bit of that around it. But I think from a City fan's perspective, and a season ticket holder at City, I watched him game in, game out throughout his whole time there. In terms of a consistent level of performance from a player in that full-back position, in the centre-half position, John Stones is right up there as number one throughout that time, and to do it over 10 years of
dominance. He play a lot of games, though. I mean, Lee says that. Lee, great call, Lee. He says that. Mate, he'd never played more than 30 games in a Premier League season. It's not a myth. We can bring up the stats. He played 9 last season, the 11 the season before that. I think 14 the season. It's not a myth. It's facts. Yeah, but facts. I did my little research before we came on the show.
He still contributes massively to their season. He still quite regularly plays over 30 games a season for Man City. That's not an insignificant amount.
In all competitions.
Yeah, in all comps. Yeah.
They play 60.
Yeah.
So he's playing half. Playing half football. Come on. All right, still to come, we're going to be asking what makes a £100 million footballer these days. Keep your calls coming, by the way. We're going to go back to that Virgil van Dijk versus John Stones debate, 03717 223344. But first, it's time for no Googling. Oh, good one. This is a good one.
I'm getting this right.
I don't think you are.
I am.
I you know your football, but I think this might even be... Right. All right. You're not. Who is the only player to play under 5 managers in the Premier League who have also managed England? Oh, shall I read it out again?
Yes.
It's a great one, by the way. Who is the only player to play under 5 managers in the Premier League who have also managed England? That's a tough one. Answer when we come back.
What do you make of that, Vinicius Junior? He doesn't like it.
I think there's a lot of assumption in it. I saw the clip, and let's be honest, it's a section of a clip, right? So me and him had a back and forth, and it was actually a good chat actually on WhatsApp. And I said, listen, mate, I'm going on talkSPORT and I'm talking about this. And he goes, well, think about it, Joel. Like, Mikel has gotten rid of the likes of Aubameyang because of, the attitude issues. Why should he go back to that once, you've gone so far, you've won the league, you've done everything. Now you're going to bring in someone who could disturb the peace. And he's been so-so. That's what triggered me when he said he's been so-so for Madrid and Brazil. I said, hang on a minute, Troy. You're saying he's been so-and-so for Madrid, but if we look at the stats, in 2025-2026 season, he had 53 games, 22 goals, 9 assists. That's 9 assists. That's 31 goal contributions. And don't forget, the person who operates in his favoured position is the one and only Kylian Mbappe. Now, it's very obvious that him and Kylian are on each other's toes. So it's not that he's so-so. They haven't been able to get the best out of Vinny for the last 2 years. Is it his fault? No. It's because they've got 2 players playing in similar positions. He then said he's so-so for Brazil. Well, Brazil are in a transition anyway.
When was the last time you saw someone score with a knuckleball free kick? We're going to take a look at why we're not seeing them anymore and explain a bit about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s after that Ronaldo strike against Portsmouth in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do you do? Top corner.
Now, no ball is perfectly aerodynamic, so as it travels it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Football's most prolific free-kick taker, Juninho Pernambucano, perfected the technique but didn't invent it. He was inspired by players from the 90s and even the 50s. So how do you do it? You have to hit the ball head-on with as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Hitting by the valve helps with that short contact time as it's the hardest part of the football. So why don't we see knuckleballs much anymore? It's because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. And in 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, though spectacular, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
don't know about this song. What's this? What's this? Oh, I wish you could hear what you just said. All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo, Rory Jennings. The no Googling question before the break. We asked, who is the only player to play under 5 managers in the Premier League who have also managed England? So the England managers were Terry Venables, Steve McLaren, Gareth Southgate, Sam Allardyce and Kevin Keegan. The player, Mark Viduka.
I would have never got
What a player he was, by the way.
Oh, great player.
Remember did he score 4 or a hat-trick against Liverpool for Leeds? I just remember thinking...
That Leeds team. I remember that Leeds team stopped Arsenal winning the league one year.
Ferdinand.
Yeah, Harry Kewell scored a great goal at Highbury. Yeah. Great goal at Highbury.
Really good team.
Yeah. Then they got to semi-finals of the European Cup.
And I think they got relegated 2 years later.
Yeah, Valencia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been told he scored all 4 in a 4-3 win.
Yeah.
Everyone scores 4 against Liverpool. Remember Andre Sharvin?
Yeah. No,
how good was he? And then he wasn't.
Seen pictures of him lately?
Is he a bit?
No, he's just living his life, man. Looks quite cool. Yeah. He doesn't look like a formal footballer.
Does he not?
Nah, he's just having a good time.
Live your life, sir. All right, still to come, we're going to have some fun with the best of talkSPORT. But now, it's already been a summer of massive transfer fees. I would say mad transfer fees. With the likes of Morgan Rogers and Elliot Anderson both moving for well over £100 million. Those transfers, by the way, have led to PSG wanting 145 million or thereabouts for Bradley Barcola. So what actually makes a £100 million footballer these days? What is it?
I think it's very easy to become a £100 million player now. I think that you have to just suspend any kind of reality. There is no comparison between the cost of a footballer and any sort of realism. So whatever you consider currency to be, whatever you consider the meaning of money to be, In football, it's completely different.
No, there must be.
But do you know what?
There must be some sort of relatability.
Nah,
there must be like, okay, he does this, he does that, he's worth this. There must be that.
No, I don't
When we grew up, it was like 25, 30. Is this what it is
you
now?
have to suspend what you know money to mean. You have to suspend it when you're talking about footballers. So if I say he's worth 100 million quid, so let's go Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton, a very good player.
Okay, that's a great example. In our eyes, so not what Adam Wharton's going to be sold for. No. What do we think Adam Wharton's worth? Like, realistically, what is Adam Wharton, who is a very cute footballer, keeps the ball, likes to kind of progress, everyone likes to say through the
but
fight.
still has a lot to prove.
What's he worth?
What he should be worth, if there was a semblance of normality to football, I think that Adam Wharton would be a £40 million footballer.
Okay.
But the reality is that Adam Wharton is a £100 million footballer. Because it's gone mad. It's like, and you just have to accept it. You get places, don't you? And football is an example of it, where you have a micro economy. It isn't the normal economy. It's a ridiculous one. If you went to High nightclub in Ibiza and you ordered 2 bottles of water, they're probably going to charge you €40. That's because you're there, because you're in Ibiza, because it's a micro economy and it doesn't relate to the normal world. You would spend it as well. You would never spend it in a normal off license. You would never spend it in a normal supermarket. But when you're there, you'll spend it because that's what it is. Football is like that. It's not got any kind of tie to what normal money is. It's gone crazy.
Was there one transfer in the Premier League? I think internationally it's easier to point at transfers. You could say Coutinho, Dembele, right? It's easy to kind of say, okay, that's what broke the camel's back. Was there a transfer in the Premier League that started this nonsense?
No, I think it's been going on a long time. There are some standout ones.
Go on.
I mean, the one that when Harry Maguire went for 80, I think it set the ball rolling in a very particular direction. That there was a premium to be paid for Premier League proven players. There was a premium to be paid for English.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Players.
It's the English player thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think a few situations have happened in football over the years that have kind of broken it. When Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea, that would obviously be an example. When Sheikh Mansour bought Man City, that would obviously have had an impact. When Bluco bought Chelsea, that would obviously have had another impact. There are these moments along the way where it feels like the horse has bolted.
But even in City, and this is not me, certainly not trying to defend Man City, but even with City, they've never gone to this extent in terms of the money of a player. Like, you think the money that City have, they've never gone over 100 million. They've never gone close to it.
No. Look,
obviously, look, the Haaland one, and people like to say 50, but it's probably more than that. But in terms of what we know, they've never gone close to 100 million. Why would they go to 114 odd for Elliot Anderson?
Because I think that's what the market is now. Like, Elliot Anderson, considering the World Cup that he had, if football was normal, Elliot Anderson's worth... If football was normal, honestly, the way I said that Adam Wharton, who didn't get in the England squad...
Elliot Anderson's worth 40 million quid.
I think Elliot Anderson's probably worth a bit more because of the World Cup. No. Wharton didn't go to the World Cup. We said he was about 40.
No, okay, he went to the World Cup. Like, normally there's at least this kind of, I don't know, how many Champions League games has he played? You know what I mean? Like 30.
Yeah.
How many European games has he even played?
Yeah. No, I know.
Nottingham Forest's little run?
No, I know. I agree. It has gone crazy. But I think that you almost have to just suspend your reality.
And not the worst things about this crazy spending. How many in the history of the Premier League have actually landed?
No, that's true.
One?
I would say of
Virgil
the most
van Dijk, one
of the most expensive players in the Premier League. Like Romelu Lukaku is on that list twice.
Yeah.
And he failed twice. Paul Pogba is on that list. Yeah. Failed.
Harry Maguire's not failed, but
I mean, Andrei Shevchenko at one point would have been on that list. Failed. Fernando Torres at one point would have been on that list. Failed. Yeah. There are countless examples of players who have moved for huge amounts of money, come with that level of expectation.
Declan Rice has lived up to it.
Declan Rice has most certainly lived
still
up
too much, but he's lived up to it.
Well, Declan Rice is actually an interesting one because I would argue that if there is a £100 million player, Declan Rice is it. Declan Rice.
That's 100 million.
I think Declan Rice has 100 million. Well, if you look at what Declan Rice has done since he's been at Arsenal, he won European silverware. Uninspiring European silverware in my opinion, but he won European silverware at West Ham. He then went to Arsenal and was the catalyst to them ending a 20-year Premier League trophy drought. So yeah, I think if anybody's worth, he's been a stalwart of an England team that has had some relative success.
I almost think that's part of the problem. You're part of the problem then.
I'm part of the problem.
How can you say you think he's worth 100 million? Do you know how much that is? 100 million pounds.
If anyone is worth 100 million pounds on a football pitch, it's obviously Declan Rice.
Yeah. Okay. What would
Declan Rice is
your greatest ever player? What would he be worth in this market?
Lampard.
Yeah.
Oh, in this market? What, Lampard of 2010?
You think Declan's worth 100? What would Lampard 2010?
Well, Lampard
20 goals in the Premier League season.
Lampard any time between 05 and 2012 really would be worth. I don't have a clue, Andy. I think
you can't even put a number on it. You can't even put a number on it.
Because whatever number I say sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, because you're going to say 200.
No, but that's what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a midfielder, if there was, say, there was a midfielder now that was doing what Lampard did, there isn't. But say there was a midfielder now that was doing what Lampard did. 20 goals a season for 5 consecutive seasons.
Who's the closest to Lampard in the Premier League right now in terms of midfielder?
What, goal
scoring midfielder?
But it's so much more than it's quite reductive to talk about Lampard only as goal scoring because he was.
I'm just trying to think.
He was a leader. He was a captain when we won the European Cup. He was everything to that team. He was the heartbeat of a team that retained a league title and won a European Cup. I don't think there is a comparison, but if we're going to play this game, I think he's worth 200 million quid.
Agreed.
I think Steven Gerrard would be worth 200 million quid.
100%.
I think Paul Scholes would be worth 200 million quid. I think Patrick Vieira would be worth 200 million quid. But you know, I've heard something. I thought it was quite interesting, but it didn't chime with the way I see the situation at all. It was Arsenal fans being vox popped on one of the fan channels, and one Arsenal fan was saying, "I don't think we should do this. I don't think we should sign Vinicius Junior. I think it's too expensive. It's going to break our wage structure."
Yeah.
And his mate said to him, "What does it matter to you?" And I thought suddenly it was like quite an existential, poignant question. He kind of went, well, what does it matter to you realistically? Like, you know, if Chelsea, if you went to me, should Chelsea spend...
It does spill over in terms of ticket prices. Ticket prices will I know what you mean. It's not a direct effect, but it will spill over into other areas to get that money back.
No.
In terms of making that money back for the club.
But again, I don't think it should ever impact the fan. I don't think the way that clubs make money, the price of a season ticket is the change down the back of the sofa. It means nothing. That you look at the price the TV price, the TV money. That's where these clubs should be making their money. But I do think there is a problem with the way that it's going because I don't see where an endpoint is. I think Michael Owen spoke, didn't he? And he basically said, if you are a tidy midfielder now, which, again, now I'm being reductive, but Elliot Anderson is that. He's a very good player, a tidy midfielder. Michael Owen said, if you are that, you are a £100 million player. And it now gets to let me ask you a question. Forget Lampard, Gerrard, Vieira, Scholes. Forget that. Is Gareth Barry a £100 million player if Gareth Barry was playing today?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
If Gareth Barry was playing football today, he's 100 million quid.
Yeah, so is like the likes of Carrick.
Oh, Michael Carrick is more.
Yeah.
Michael Carrick is more.
Yeah.
I think, and at the time, like I don't mean this to sound disrespectful at all, but at the time, Gareth Barry was seen as being fairly uninspiring. I remember when Rafael Benitez wanted to get him and sell Xabi Alonso, Scousers weren't overly happy with that. So I think it's gone mad. But maybe this is me being a bit of an ostrich and putting my head in the sand. But it's not really my problem.
Yeah,
like it is what it is, isn't it?
Have a bit of fun. Bit of fun.
Always.
Yeah, let's kind of just value these players. Yeah, we're not even going to go back that far. We will eventually, but this is very recent. So Robert Lewandowski, we're going to go back 5 years, just 5 years. What would Robert Lewandowski be worth 5 years ago in today's market?
Robert Lewandowski should have won a Ballon d'Or. So at one point, it didn't happen because of the pandemic.
Best player in the world.
But at one point,
that was it.
At one point, he was the best player in the world, scoring goals for one of the biggest clubs in the world. That's obviously way more than a £100 million player. If Elliot Anderson use Elliot Anderson as the benchmark of the £100 million player.
You know what it is? I'm struggling to use Elliot Anderson as the benchmark because I almost feel like they need to be separated between English players and foreign.
Okay, let's go. Okay, go Moises Caicedo then. Go Enzo Fernandez.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yeah. I forgot about those. Yeah.
That immediately puts Robert Lewandowski when he was winning a Ballon d'Or in theory. A £200 million
player. Mo Salah 5 years ago.
Now you're
what
not putting a price. Now you're not putting.
It's not a number, is it?
No. What Mohamed Salah was doing 5 years ago was bonkers.
Yeah,
bonkers.
It's crazy to think.
Well, that's when you start talking. And I know this is going to sound ludicrous, but that's when you start talking about Liverpool putting in a buyout clause of £1 billion.
Yeah,
I'm being really serious.
No, I'm
being really serious.
Yeah.
5 years ago, Salah, if you want to buy him, it's £1 billion. They're not expecting anyone to pay that, but that's how you stop people.
De Bruyne
at 5, De Bruyne when they were
numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, De Bruyne in their peak when they were say when they hit 100 points. That Centurion season, De Bruyne is it 200 million quid?
You know, it's funny because we say these numbers.
It's actually more. Salah and De Bruyne in their peak are more.
You know, we say these numbers, and me and you are afraid to say the number, and we're like,
yeah, because I'm scared I'm going to be ridiculed and mocked, and that happens to me a lot.
And look, again, this is no disrespect to those two English boys, Elliot Anderson and Morgan Rogers. It is what it is. That's not what you value yourself. Someone values you at that, so it's not their fault.
And we got it wrong, by the way. It's Salah and De Bruyne are in their peak.
It's 300.
It's 350.
It's 300. Yeah, you've got.
No, it is. It is because Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo are the 120, say, £1 million benchmark. They were obviously worth double that.
Yeah, Salah was an elite goal.
Yeah, they're obviously worth double
them.
Yeah,
yeah.
When Harry Kane was doing the business for Tottenham, like when Man City were in, he's obviously a £200 million footballer. Obviously.
I just think we're getting into a scary space. I think we are. Like even when PSG is saying Bradley Barcola to Liverpool, £145 million. And it doesn't even start.
Do you know when you have these conversations where I think it becomes quite an interesting debate is how relatable can this be for fans? Yeah. Like when I was a kid, like my dad would take me in a cab and he'd take me to Harlington where Chelsea used to train, and I would watch amazing footballers, Mark Hughes, Ruud Gullit, Dennis Wise. I would watch them train. And if they booted the ball too far, I would go and get it. And it was just something that you would do, right? I remember Mark Steen sent me to get the ball and I was over the moon, right? It was like an honour to run and get the ball when it went miles away. That created a world where I kind of felt part of Chelsea and felt part of something, and the team meant so much to me. They were relatable. Despite the fact they were amazing, far better than the Chelsea players now. Mark Hughes, far better than any centre-forward at the club now. Ruud Gullit was there. He won a Ballon d'Or. How relatable, if you're a kid now, and we're talking about the money involved and all that, there are exceptions. I think Declan Rice is relatable because he makes himself relatable.
Jack Grealish is
relatable because he makes himself relatable. Mark Gahey the same. I feel like he seems like a good geezer, right? But how can you have this rapport, and this rapport that is built between fans, like the bond that is built between fans, the Kop and the players that play for Liverpool, the Stretford End and the players that play for Man United? How can that exist when one of you is earning £500,000 a week and the person watching you isn't earning £500,000 in their lifetime? Like, I just feel like the bond and what it should represent, ultimately, this is what's going to happen. It's going to erode the bond because there is nothing relatable about these players. Whereas when I remember going, John Spencer, Mark Steen, Paul Furlong, of course they were relatable. When I was that age, I thought I was going to be them.
Very, very quickly, we'll wrap on this one. What's happened to scouts? You know, like back in the day, scouts would find a gem. You'd find a gem, like the way Kante was found. You know what I mean? Like, you just find them. What's happened to that? Because clearly, when you spend this much money on Premier League players, as we've said, they don't land.
Yeah. Like but Chelsea are an example of a club that have an amazing scouting network. And we found this untapped gem. His name's Daniel Welbeck, and he's scoring goals for Brighton. We've unearthed him. We've unearthed him.
Really bad. All right, when we come back, it is the best of talkSPORT, and John Cushion is going to give us an update as to what's going on at the Commonwealth Games. Stick with us. Neutral hat on, right? Remove the fact that I'm Liverpool and you're Chelsea. Just to have one of the best players in the world come to the Premier League when we're so used to losing the best players in the world to La Liga is massive for the Premier League.
It'd be massive, absolutely massive for the Premier League. I totally agree with you. But I think it's you have to look at it through the lens of Arsenal. You have to look at what this means for Arsenal. They're behaving exactly as they should. When you are champions, being champions of England comes with the power. It comes with the opportunity, and they're making the most of it. I think if this happens, Vinicius Junior landing at Arsenal are already Premier League champions. They were Champions League finalists. They were Champions League semi-finalists last year. You think about the momentum of Arsenal. If he lands at Arsenal and is the missing piece to them winning a European Cup, it immediately becomes money well spent. It probably goes down, off the top of my head here, biggest signing in Premier League history?
Yeah.
When you think about what rivals it, I think you could argue maybe. Do you remember when Pogba went to Manchester?
Good afternoon. You are listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Andy Oladipo alongside Mr. Rory Jennings. We're in partnership with Giacomo. You can get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Still to come. We're going to be asking if you'll take Mo Salah at your club. Mo Salah's deal to Besiktas looks like it's broken down. He is clubless. Incredible. What a talent. Even last season, wasn't a great season, still scored lots of goals, loads of assists. I'm sure he's going to get a club very soon. Just quickly, Roberto Mancini has been confirmed as the new Italy manager. England international Hannah Hampton has signed a new 2-year deal with Chelsea. And we can get an update from the Commonwealth Games. Watching for talkSPORT is John Cushion. John.
Yeah, wet, rainy and blowing a hoolie up here at Glasgow Scotstoun Athletic Stadium, I can tell you, but the medals have been flooding in as well for the home nations. Gymnastics, weightlifting, bowls, all on day 5. And in fact, in the boxing, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland have all guaranteed medals because they've been victories in the quarterfinals. For Lauren Mackey in Northampton in the bantamweight, the referee stopped Caitlin Rainey's win in the welterweight contest in the quarterfinals. She now faces Casey Rock of Northern Ireland in the last 4. And Wales's heavyweight Connor Williams also won his quarter-final as well. Another 8 home nations in action this evening. Kate O'Connor of Northern Ireland, a Commonwealth Games silver medalist here 4 years ago, behind Katarina Johnson-Thompson, leads the heptathlon after 2 events. We'll see how she gets on in the shot put and the 200 metres as the rain is pouring down here. And can they do it on a wet Tuesday in Glasgow? It's the men's 100 metres final and the women's 100 metres final. If you fancy being here when the weather gets better, check out glasgow2026.com for tickets. This is the Commonwealth Games. It's live across the talkSPORT network.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much. More from John a bit later, but now it's time for this. Yeah, this is the best of talkSPORT and Friends, where we run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across the talkSPORT network and, of course, our sister stations that kick things off with breakfast this morning. Andy Goldstein and Andy Townsend were joined by the boxer, Delicious Rory, and the governor is a big boxing fan.
So you've got Team Wales, you've got Owen Harris-Allen, he's fantastic boxing at lightweight. You've got, so Team England, I'm going to give you 2. All right, I'm going to give you Ruby White. Have you guys heard of Ruby White yet?
No, haven't heard of him.
You get. It's a woman. You are going to hear of her. She's going to be an absolute. She's going to be an absolute star. She's 50.
Let me tell you now, that clip will never do the rounds. That'll be the last time you hear that clip.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Delicious Rory. Good, by the way, see Delicious Rory doing some work up there in the Commonwealth Games. He's a boxer, really good amateur. Had a couple of fights and said, no, I'm done.
Really?
Literally had, I think he might have had one pro fight and said, that's it, don't want to do it no more.
Really?
Yeah, and very highly sought after.
Yeah.
Like everyone wanted to sign him. I think Frank Warren signed him. Then he said, you know, I'm not doing it anymore.
What's he going to do?
I think he actually works like normal 9 to 5.
Never.
Yeah, stop doing it.
Wow.
All right. Go on. What's the most pointless sport?
The most pointless sport? Yeah. What sport do you have absolutely no interest in? I mean, I would contest...
skimming.
That's not a sport.
No, it is.
Stone skimming.
Stone skimming's a sport.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm not even joking. That's why it's
not
pointless.
a sport. Mate, that's not a sport.
I would say darts or something.
No, I would argue, I would contest whether F1 was a sport.
Nah, of course it is.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a fast car.
No, but if you go in it, it's very difficult.
If I go in it?
If you go in Formula 1...
Have you ever been in a Formula 1 car?
What purse would you get in the ring for a celebrity boxing match?
I'm never getting in the ring. I'll get killed. No, I wouldn't get in the ring. I'll get absolutely battered.
£1 million to fight someone of your size.
No, they batter me.
No, someone that's never fought like you. So basically, you.
No, but I'd get beaten up. I'd still lose. I'll get beaten up. I really don't want to get beaten up. I'm sure it's due, but I'm not. I really don't want that to happen.
And do you know what your name would have been if you were a girl?
If I was a girl?
Probably Rory.
Rory, right, the one thing that you can't argue, Rory's not a female name.
I've heard a female called Rory.
You've never ever met a female Rory.
Can we find a female Rory?
It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible.
There is one. All right, both the Andys return to breakfast at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Over to a bit of talkSPORT Gold. Here's Hawksby and Jacobs discussing the sex appeal of Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel has won a surprise army of admirers, love-struck mums.
Oh, OK. He's the housewife's choice, is he?
Contributors on the parenting site Mumsnet, a very powerful organisation, I might say, reckon the German is a top catch thanks to his gawky good looks and kindly manner.
He's got a partner, isn't he? I think he's off the market, ladies, isn't he, Thomas? He was throwing sort of heart shapes and kisses after the game the other day. I doubt if that was to Infantino.
Jude Bellingham's mum.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That is
says what he wants, doesn't he?
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
That is crazy. I really cannot believe that Thomas Tuchel is seen as being some sort of sexual icon.
No, it's shocking.
No, surely not. Do you reckon that he has any sex appeal?
Absolutely not. Like, I'm not joking. Zero.
Mate, you're a housewife's favourite.
I am.
What is the secret to being a housewife's favourite?
I don't know. Some people have just got it and some haven't, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, and you've got it, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm looking now. Thomas Tuchel does seem to have it. Yeah, he's got, got himself a Brazilian.
I thought he was finding out about me.
No, not you. Who do you reckon is the most handsome man at talkSPORT? Apart from me. You're going to say yourself, aren't you? I can tell you're actually considering.
Oh, don't be stupid. Yeah, Joe Overall, the producer's pretty good looking, isn't he?
What about Yeah, Joe's
got a bit. Dresses really well.
What about if you were going on
really well?
on screen or on air?
Ade.
You're putting yourself there. Fair enough.
There's not really that much competition, though, is there?
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Sorry.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Oh, well, for all the best bits with Paul and Andy, check out the H&J Daily wherever you get your podcast.
All right, let's finish very quickly. A bit of racing. Here's how Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly are getting on at Glorious Goodwood.
I think he'll be sharper today.
Who dropped it last?
Me.
Rupert, what on earth are you doing?
Well, I was moving your lunch because we were suddenly being invaded by a whole lot of flies.
And now look what you've done.
And now what I've done is I've broken some glass. That one, Neil Phillips had brought us some lovely Bolney champagne. I was only trying to stop us being invaded because Lizzie had left half our lunch in a bag and the flies were attending.
No, don't blame on me. There was one fly that you were upset about, and now look at the mess you've made.
Two very well-spoken individuals, aren't they?
Yeah, putting us to shame. Putting us to shame.
Very, very well-spoken, both of them. What's the most valuable thing you've ever broken, Rory?
I crashed my mum's car once when I was a kid. Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, in my flats. I tried to. Yeah, I crashed.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another. Yeah, I crashed my mum's car. She still brings it up. She still brings it up. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, I've crashed a car as well.
Yeah, love the racing though. I'd love to be at Glorious Goodwood.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
I love it.
Can't stand it.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of it? Do you even watch the horses? You just have a drink?
No, I love it. I love the whole thing. A day at the racing is up there with my favourite days of the year.
Of anything
mate,
worse.
it's the best. We went together. Didn't we go to Ascot?
You like paddle as well, don't you?
Love paddle.
I knew it.
You're
turning into a
love
very
paddle. Mate, I have this dream. You know the way Harry...
paddle?
No, not paddle. You know the way Harry Redknapp, Michael Owen, they've got involved.
Horses.
If I
went
ever
to
could...
Michael's house, stables.
Did you? Love to get involved. I'd have a horse. I'd call it Pie Oh My. Homage to the Sopranos.
Okay, cool. A reminder, from 1 p.m, Racing Live will bring you every race from Goodwood over on talkSPORT 2, not to mention a bonus preview show between 10 and 11. And of course, you can find all our shows on talkSPORT on the app, where you can swipe between talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2 and all of our sister stations, so you never miss a moment. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the best player ever in the Premier League. That man is still without a club. That man is Mr. Mo Salah. Stick with us.
It's boxing. I said it in the interview the other day. It's heavyweight boxing. He got caught by a fighter who's had 20 knockouts. Yes, albeit Prenga wasn't a hugely recognised name prior to that, but you don't get 20 knockouts, without being able to punch. And that's boxing. And the reality is, as AJ showed, it's getting back up from that and building your way back into the fight and finishing it the way he did. Did I expect that in the first round? No. But he showed his heart, his determination, and everything that's got him to this point in the sport.
Are you into boxing conspiracies?
No, I mean, is Simon Jordan under the desk somewhere?
He's on holiday this week, mate. But I've got his tweet here.
Well, yeah, you've got Simon Jordan. You got the other guy.
Oh yeah, but Paulie Malignaggi was on a little earlier on as well. He said a very similar thing. So basically, Simon wrote on X, I'm sure people have seen this, that he wasn't having the fight and that something was not quite right, as it was designed to rinse the maximum amount of money. Do you agree?
I mean, did he confirm any more? Has he spoken about it verbally?
I've not personally spoken to him, mate.
More green jackets have been lost at the 12th than at the Augusta City Dry Cleaners. Rory McIlroy knows this better than most. But what is Amen Corner and why is it so iconic? The famous sequence has always been there since the Masters began in 1934. It didn't get its name until '58, though, when American sports writer Herbert Warren Wind, on the left, wrote, "At the farthest reach of the Augusta National Course, down in the Amen Corner." He drew inspiration from the 1933 jazz song Shouting in That Amen Corner by the Dorsey Brothers. The reason behind its difficulty is all in the sand and the water. Tournament officials don't even bother to count the balls lost in there each year, such is the sheer number. The 11th, named White Dogwood, is a downhill 520-yard par 4 with a pond to the left of the green and a bunker to the right. Both cause a lot of trouble each year. The 12th, Golden Bell, is perhaps the most famous hole in the world, with danger everywhere. Many aim for the flag, but look, get it even slightly wrong, and you're in the azaleas at the back, or the bunkers at the front, or even worse, Rays Creek. Or you can play it safe and aim for the open green on the left. You chicken. Tiger Woods once said, if you make 4 bogeys from Thursday to Sunday, you're doing well. And the highest ever score on that hole? 13. It's a par 3. Tom Weiskopf in 1980 was the sorry soul. Often the iconic Ben Hogan Bridge is the only thing players enjoy about Golden Bell. Even if you escape there unscathed, though, you met with Azalea, the dogleg par 5 13th. It tempts players to go for the green in 2, but cut over those trees on the left at your peril. Every year, it seems, Amen Corner destroys someone's dreams. Rory McIlroy dropped 3 shots through here as his round unravelled in 2011. In 2016, a year after navigating Amen Corner expertly, Jordan Spieth shot a quadruple bogey on the 12th to throw away his green jacket. I mean, it sounds like my game, to be honest. So who'll be the next to be brought to their knees, praying for mercy after Amen Corner?
We're on camera, Rory. It's on camera. We were walking around the studio.
Mate, I just went and got you a glass of water.
Didn't ask you to.
Mate, that was wild. I literally just went and got you a glass of water and you flagged that I'm...
Wait, 1 second. Did you not get one for yourself?
Yeah, of course I did. But I also got one for you, and now you flagged that I'm seconds late. It's appalling. Judas-like behaviour,
Wonderful water as well. Thank you very much. Ben Jacob is going to join us a bit later, by the way, because there is a developing story with Gianni Infantino. We spoke about him yesterday. Remember, we went in depth about just FIFA and the World Cup, and it's getting crazier. It really is. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo alongside Mr. Rory Jennings. Still to come, we're going to have a look at some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds. But now, would you still have this man at your club?
Good interplay again inside the penalty area. And it's 2. No doubt about that one. And Salah tiptoes his way through.
One of the greatest. The numbers, the consistency, what a player, I think incredible human being.
One of the best players Liverpool have ever had. In the Premier League, he's up there with Thierry Henry and whoever you want to mention as one of the best players the Premier League has ever seen.
Given away, Mo Salah! This time he'll count. This time Liverpool have the lead. And it is Mo Salah with back-to-back Premier League goals.
Liverpool actually did their recent top 100 players, didn't they, I think? And Mo Salah came 4th in the voting. Gerrard, Sir Kenny Dalglish, Ian Rush, and I think Mo Salah came 4th. So look, he's been a fantastic servant for Liverpool. And when he announced that he's leaving,
midway through the season, you almost felt like, okay, obviously he knows where he's going to. Like, obviously, him and his agent have got this perfect deal with a club and they're going to pay him gazillions. To see that Mo Salah doesn't have a club and this deal to Besiktas, which I think would have been decent, right? Playing in the Turkish league means he still gets to play Champions League football. To know that deal hasn't come to fruition and he's without a club is mind-boggling, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was because I imagine. Remember the previous season when everybody thought he was going to leave and then he stayed on?
Yeah.
I think then he knew exactly where he was going. It felt like it was a tap into Saudi, didn't it?
Yeah.
It felt like he was going to Saudi.
For
He obviously
astronomical money.
For astronomical money. He then decided to stay. The season didn't go to plan at all. And I think that the plans were rocked. But it's very difficult. You know, when you start talking about should somebody sign him? Should Liverpool potentially try and keep hold of him? Is there a world where he could contribute to someone in the Premier League? I think it's such a difficult balancing act because on one hand, you are talking about a Premier League icon. You're talking about one of the best players to have ever played for Liverpool. You're talking about somebody who at one point I genuinely believed was going to catch Ian Rush's insurmountable goal-scoring record for Liverpool. I thought he was actually going to get to it. Agreed. He didn't get there, but I thought he could. But then you also have to try and remember that once it's over, it's over. We've seen countless footballers.
You think it's over?
I'm not...
No. I mean,
I probably do. Certainly at that level. Certainly at that level.
What, the numbers where he's hitting 30 a season?
I don't think he can play for Liverpool anymore. I don't think he can be playing... Like, it was bad last year.
Yeah, but it was bad for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, who actually performed well for Liverpool? But if Bosley, that literally is
if
it.
Liverpool were to decide that they were going to keep him, I feel like that wouldn't be... It's not progressive, is it? It's not moving in the right direction. That isn't at all being sneery to the contribution that Mohamed Salah has put in for Liverpool. He will go down... Look, the kind of thing you can say about him, when you think about how many amazing Liverpool players there have been, I think that now Mohamed Salah has made it impossible to leave him out of an all-time Liverpool 11.
Yeah.
Like all-time. Yeah. You're talking about... You want to talk about St. John and Roger Hunt and whatever, right? Yeah. He has to be in that all-time Liverpool 11. So that's where he is. But should he play for Liverpool again in the Premier League, in the Champions League?
No,
probably not.
You're right, but we've seen players like Drogba came back. Yeah? Drogba came back for one season.
Drogba came back.
And it clearly wasn't the same Drogba, but he came back for one season, did you a job, and Drogba came back. Whilst Andoni Iraola is there, and there isn't right now this right-sided player that Liverpool can find in the market. It's not going to cost. I mean, we spoke about Bradley Barcola, 145 million. If Liverpool can't find a player to fit that right-hand side right now, and the season is fast approaching, I don't see a problem with bringing him back for one season until you find that player.
I would agree with that logic.
Okay.
I would agree with that logic, but I would also say that it doesn't paint the scouting team. It doesn't paint anyone in a positive colour if the answer to a problem at Liverpool is the same answer that they found a decade ago.
No, but I think
like the answer to a Liverpool problem 10 years ago was Mohamed Salah. It should still be the same answer.
You're right, but I think the problem with Mo Salah wasn't necessarily Liverpool. I think the problem with Mo Salah was on a slot. He aired those views, didn't he? He was very expressive about.
Do you think that the way that Salah conducted? Do you think?
Okay, yeah.
Do you think that Salah conducted himself in the right way?
No, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. He had his views, but ultimately the manager's been sacked. He was airing his views about the style of football and, in particular, the manager. And Andoni Iraola brings a better style of football, and the manager's now sacked.
Do you know it
wasn't wrong?
That's who it's a question for. It's a question for Iraola. Yeah. It's basically, does Iraola like the idea of bringing Mohamed Salah in? If nothing else, and Addy, we've spoken about this a lot because of the direction that Chelsea are going in. You and I have spoken massively about standards. Mohamed Salah can be a standard bearer at Liverpool. He knows what it takes to win the league at Liverpool. He knows what it takes to win a European Cup at Liverpool. He knows what the culture of the club should be. He demands excellence from those around him. He demands excellence from the top down. He will set the standards. There's a new manager. There's a lot of new players. The standards at Liverpool weren't great last year. If he can aid Iraola for a season, then maybe.
Mate, it was weird for me watching Liverpool. Obviously, every club started their pre-season. It was weird to see Liverpool. I think they're in Chicago at the moment. And the players come off the plane. I was like, oh my God, where's the world-class players? Like, I was frightened.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, there's some coming back. Gravenberch, Florian Wirtz, Van Dijk. I was like, I'm so used to seeing Andy Robertson come off the plane.
Yeah.
Might not be a starter, but he's that guy in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So used to seeing Mo Salah. And then you say it's the standards.
Yeah.
And I'll have him back, even if it's until January, just to set some of the standards.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with that. I also think, though, what you can't do is have anybody blocking. You know all of that money that was spent last year that Arne Slot couldn't get a tune out of, which is ultimately why Arne Slot got sacked.
Yeah.
He couldn't get Florian Wirtz to play in the way that he was meant to play. He couldn't get a tune out of him at all. And how much of that is Arne Slot's fault is up for you.
It's on his doorstep.
The reason why you don't necessarily need Salah, though, is because you need... I know Ekitike's injured, but ultimately, this season, it needs to be about Ekitike. It needs to be about Isak. It needs to be about Wirtz.
No, you're right. There were times last season where it almost felt like Salah wasn't even wanting to pass to Florian Wirtz and Isak and Ekitike.
Do you think Wirtz will come good? Do you have faith that Florian Wirtz is going to be the player?
Yeah, he's a good footballer.
I don't think that's ever in doubt, though.
No, he's a good footballer.
But nobody's ever querying whether he's a good footballer. The query is more, is he suited to Premier League football? Can he demonstrate?
It depends. It depends what your expectations are for him. Is he going to be as good as, I don't know, some of the best number 10s we've seen in the league over the years, the De Bruyne's.
Yeah, that. I think that's what he needs to be, right? How much we think about how much money he costs, the expectation with which he arrived. He joined a team that were champions, and we saw glimpses of it. Do you know, I'll always remember at Stamford Bridge, where the game where we beat you, actually, when Esteval scored last minute. In that game, I'm not joking.
He was fantastic.
Florian Wirtz provided Mohamed Salah with one of the best assists I've ever seen. It didn't end up in the back of the net.
Yeah.
But if Salah scores and you put your house on him scoring, Florian Wirtz did some sort of weird pirouette assist that had that ended up in the back of the net. You're talking about it being one of the best assists.
I think he had a lot of those, by the way. And obviously, look, you only get the recognition when the numbers say you got an assist or a goal. He had so many potentially assists that unfortunately Isak and Ekitike and particularly Salah didn't put away. So no one talks about him. But I think it'll be good. I think Liverpool's problems next season lie in the defensive areas. There is no right back, obviously.
You've just got to spend some money, haven't you?
I think we've got to go and get Ezri Konsa.
Yeah.
I think you've got to get Ezri Konsa out of Villa. And if you're Konsa and look, we spoke to Dan Barda yesterday. If you're Konsa and you're seeing Morgan Rogers has left the club, Tielemans has left the club, Emi Martinez wants to leave the club and probably will go, and you're looking around and thinking, okay, 1 second, I thought we were going to challenge for Champions League football again. Looks like we're now challenging just for the sake of challenging. And Ezri Konsa can play centre-back, can play right-back. He knows the Premier League. He's experienced, England international. I honestly think Liverpool have to go for him. Yeah. Lacroix would have been one as an option, but it looks like he might be going elsewhere. I think you try and... I don't even think you have to break the bank, but I think you try and...
No, I think you have to. I think you do, though. I think what Liverpool need to do, I know they spent a lot of money last year, but if that money hasn't worked, you need to spend it again. Like Liverpool were champions very recently. So the way that you get back to those levels,
go crazy.
Go and sign a proper, serious centre halves. Yeah.
All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo alongside Rory Jennings. Up next, we are going to be joined. I mentioned it a bit earlier. Ben Jacobs is going to join us, who's going to tell us about a developing story within FIFA, another one, as Infantino plans to sell stakes in the World Cup. More on that next.
What do you make of the noise over the last 24 hours that Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck are being heavily linked as to be players for Chelsea this season?
I can see the reason why. I can see why, Alonso done it when he was at Leverkusen. He brought Xhaka in. He had a few, older heads to play with, a lot of the youngsters, what he had in and around the squad to help him, because that's what they do. The older players help the coach, the manager, because they can see it. They've been there, they've done it. And I can see why, Danny obviously had a great season last season, very unlucky not to get the call up to the England squad. Jordan, obviously, a freak accident at the World Cup. Yeah. And probably because I think, when you look at Jordan, everyone sort of forgets that he was Liverpool captain, won the title with Liverpool, played all them games for Liverpool, and you don't do that and play at a top level club like that if you're not a top level player. So again, you can see he's got he buys into an environment, he buys into what you want, and as a manager, you can't.
Sounds like one of those, cheesy 90s movies.
Happy Mondays, isn't it?
90s movie. Oh, yeah, it's Happy Mondays.
Mondays, yeah. Can't beat a bit of this. That Manchester scene.
No, one second. It certainly can be.
Nah, no, that Manchester scene, there's a proper time and a place always for that scene.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but we're moving on very quickly. All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo, Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo, styling brand for every single man. Still to come, we're going to have a look at some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds. But just quickly, Man City are bracing themselves for a bid for Real Madrid for Rodri, which will be a massive move for Real Madrid. And Zinedine Zidane has been confirmed as the new France boss. And we need to talk about yet another huge story, unfortunately involving FIFA. Earlier today, The Times exclusively revealed that FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino, is planning to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors under a scheme that could potentially earn him tens of millions of pounds. FIFA have since confirmed that it intends to expand football development funding and invite third-party investment in a new venture. Let's get more on what this means. We are joined by talkSPORT's reporter Ben Jacobs. Ben, if you can, try and sum it up for all of us. I do feel like there is this annoyance when it comes to Infantino and FIFA at the moment, and I feel like this is just taking that annoyance to a whole new level.
Yeah, this is in many ways the privatisation and capitalisation of the public game. So in essence, FIFA want to align their commercial arm with their operational one and create a body that's known as FFE, and that stands for FIFA Forward Enterprise. And in essence, to fund that and have the money trickle down to all 211 member associations, they need private investment. And FIFA are billing this as everyone wins commercially, but the reality is that the very entity of FIFA would effectively have a parent company, and then in that parent company, the member associations would be given the opportunity to have a stake and also the voluntary opportunity to earn what is billed as up to $20 million in one-off capital. So that's almost like a joining fee in return for your stake. And then the funding for this comes from private equity. And FIFA add that they need around $4.2 billion, and they will seek external stakeholders. One of them is Josh Kushner, who, of course, has links to Donald Trump, and he owns a company called Thrive Capital. JP Morgan are involved as well. They were widely believed to be one of the funders behind the original European Super League. And then to add to the intrigue, the feeling is this new body needs a commissioner, and Gianni Infantino will stand again. The expectation is he'll get re-elected because at the moment nobody is up against him. And then from 2031, after the next proposed term as FIFA president, Gianni Infantino is expected, if this comes off and it needs to be voted for, become the commissioner of this new body, the FIFA Forward Enterprise, which begs a lot of questions as to where's the money coming from, who actually benefits, and is this actually a way of Gianni Infantino, when he can't stand again for FIFA president, still effectively controlling the entity that is FIFA under a new name?
Ben, this is wild. I cannot believe that we are pining for Sepp Blatter. Do you think this could be the storm that actually brings down FIFA or Infantino as we know it? Like, it feels like the power has gone too far. What are we relying on here? RFA standing up to them?
Well, UEFA have issued a statement. That's the first thing to say, and they're opposed to it. And they basically have 55 of the 211. And what's not clear, and I'm sure it will become apparent in the consultation process, is how this thing is actually going to be voted for. Because if it's only majority, it can clear by one vote, then it will pass. If it is two-thirds majority and UEFA block oppose at 55 and glean some other external support, then it might not. And I think at the heart of this is Gianni Infantino going to get elected and then do the consultation process? Because if this starts and/or is voted on at the same FIFA Congress in March, when Infantino stands again, this could be seen as a platform. And if it doesn't pass, does that almost constitute a vote of no confidence? But Infantino's power is not going to be under threat unless UEFA or any other confederation actually put a viable candidate up against him. And the most likely scenario is that if there is to be a challenger, it will fuel debate, but Infantino could still win. But UEFA's statement is very strong in opposition to this, and it implies that all of the 55 federations are against it. And it reads, "This crosses a line that football's governing institutions should never cross." And it goes on to say, "The soul and governance of football are not assets to trade, especially with zero transparency as to who gains financially. None of us are the owners of football. It is not FIFA's to sell."
Was this always like in the forefront, you think, of Gianni Infantino's mind? When America won the rights to host the World Cup, and you think of sort of the powerhouse that America is when it comes to commercialization and just the money that this World Cup has brought in from America, when you think of just revenue streams like the sponsorships and the extreme ticket prices, was this almost inevitable?
Well, I think the commercialization of FIFA and the transparency and the model that they take forwards are two different things. And the reason why Gianni Infantino is so confident in getting re-elected is because most of the federations, whether at the last World Cup or not, back him to make them money. And if, therefore, their bottom line is more lucrative off the back of this new venture, it will be voted for. But UEFA have already got plenty of money, and the bigger federations are more concerned as to whether this serves a dual purpose of, yes, making money. I don't think that's in doubt. FIFA claim that there'll be 10 billion of potential funding for FIFA member associations. And when you cling to that number and you're maybe a smaller, less funded federation, if it's distributed equally, of course you're going to vote for this. But the secondary point in all of this is, what's Infantino's personal end game? Is it to get into bed with politics, to get into bed with Trump, to get into bed with Trump lawyers and funders such as Josh Kushner, and eventually give himself a cushy role that is not necessarily elected and could be indefinite without term limits? So to me, the challenge here is the transparency, who's actually funding it, and most importantly, as we put scrutiny on the FIFA president, what's his end game? Is it the benefit of football, as we have to say FIFA claim, or is it really about Infantino bolstering his reputation and lining his own pockets?
Ben, I did read that the Norwegian FA have been very brave. They have complained about Donald Trump interfering in that Florian Balogun issue, when Balogun's red card was effectively overturned on the whim of Donald Trump. Norway, their FA have stood up to FIFA. Can we expect, is that the way to stop this? That each individual FA is going to have to be brave enough to stand in the way of this?
And I'm not sure that's the solution. Very quickly, Ben, on that, if that does happen, if Norway, obviously clearly brave to stand up to FIFA, if other nations, more bigger footballing nations, decide to stand up to FIFA, is there a way in which that there's almost a breakaway from FIFA by these nations? I mean, is that even possible?
I don't think we'll see a breakaway, but what I would say is that key is going to be criticism, scrutiny, and anti-Infantino support, or at least challenging this with an earnestness and a genuine desire for transparency. And that has to come voice-wise from outside of UEFA. Because remember one thing, you're looking at Germany or Norway as being bigger and more damaging, but it's one vote per member federation. So whether it's Cape Verde or England, they've both got one vote. And as a consequence, Gianni Infantino is not worried by a so-called bigger football nation challenging him with statements or potentially even legal challenges. He's worried if he loses his base in Asia and in Africa, because that's how you become FIFA president and that's how you get these votes through. And we must also point out that these statements sound brave and they're scathing, but action is more important. And Alexander Sheffirin is not afraid to take on Gianni Infantino, even boycott the World Cup final, but he doesn't want to stand for FIFA president, nor does Nasser Al-Khalifi. And the worry is that all of this bluster, however many media headlines are made, doesn't actually result in a credible candidate coming forwards. Because if it was Nasser Al-Khalifi versus Gianni Infantino or Alexander Sheffirin, then they would stand a realistic chance of winning, and suddenly Infantino's power grip is challenged. And then if he wins, you say, fair play. But if it's not those kind of heavyweights, then anybody that stands in the selection against Infantino might be more of a stalking horse. And at that point, Infantino only justifies his position by winning by a landslide. So it's really important now that the attacks on Gianni Infantino are crystallised and form genuine action and opposition, even if just for the purpose of healthy debate, because statements alone don't cut it.
Ben, really appreciate you coming on, my man. Thank you very much. talkSPORT correspondent Ben Jacobs giving us the latest when it comes to FIFA and Gianni Infantino. You almost feel like football has been lost, doesn't it? It almost feels like that.
Do you know when you start talking about outside investors are going to do that? Like, who are these people?
Especially international football. We used to hear it about outside investors for club football. We've been hearing it for 3 or 4 decades. When you hear it for international football,
World Cups,
you're like, how does that make?
But also, you have to ask these outside investors, whoever they. It sounds very mysterious, but whoever these outside investors are that suddenly want to be involved in the World Cup, you have to question their motives. What do they want in return for their investment? Who benefits from their investment? How do they profit on their investment, which is presumably one of their motivations? Like, it's just another example, isn't it, of the game being taken away, being made more commercial. Like we've already seen.
Well, you can
World Cup.
see how they profit. The revenue streams to be made from the World Cup, incredible.
No, but it's losing track of the point. Like, football is a game where you have a 15-minute half-time and 2 halves of 45 minutes played either side of that half-time. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's now 4 quarters and a 28-minute half.
It's always been about revenue. Like when you get the smiling, and look, I don't mean to be critical of these people, when you get the smiling Americans coming over and buying the clubs over here, they're not doing it because they love the clubs and have this infinity to the clubs. They're not your local butchers who owned several butchers around the area that sometimes owned the club. They clearly look at it as a way to make profit.
Yeah, they did. But look, a decade ago when you had the, I don't know, Randy Lerner buying up a club, what never happened was they never tried to change the game. The game was the game, right? Now look, there was a pollution in terms of the way that he ran his club. It was terrible what happened, and I'm not supporting it at all. But he didn't try and elongate half time in order to maximise the potential revenue during a half time break. He didn't introduce a hydration break under the guise of being about player welfare when actually using it as an advert break.
What's the amount again? And maybe this is one for Joe, our producer, actually. What's the amount of owners in terms of making a change in the Premier League? How many people, in terms of the amount of owners, does it take to change a rule in the Premier League? 14. How many American owners in the Premier League at the moment? Is it 11?
Yeah.
We're not far off.
Yeah.
If there is 11 and they get 3 more, you'll be surprised at some of the changes they'll make.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's a terrible. I think it's a terrible state of affairs that the game's in, and we're not a million miles away from Chelsea playing a home game against Liverpool in Boston.
Kansas City or Boston. Yeah. All right, still to come. We're going to have a look at some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds, but it is now time for no Googling.
Right. I've got to get this one right. This is the one. This is it, Addy. I can feel it. Come on.
All right. We've been speaking about Mo Salah, the great Mo Salah.
Right.
Which goalkeeper did Mo Salah score his first Premier League goal against? Impossible answer when we come back.
Watford.
Chaps, how are you?
We're good, man. How you doing today?
Morning,
You all right?
Jeff.
You well?
I'm all right. Goldstein, are you on a wind-up with this Kane to Chelsea thing?
Well, no. I never said it. I asked the question.
Yeah, you done it on purpose, so I'd ring up, didn't you?
Sol Campbell went to Arsenal, didn't he?
No, I knew you was going to come
Tevez
up
went to
with
Man
that.
City. It happens. Definitely happens.
Listen. Kane is proper Tottenham. Don't you know that? Don't you know that?
I know he's proper I know that. I don't think he would do that.
Of course he wouldn't. So why are you talking about it and winding me up
Jeff,
for?
Let me ask you this. Jeff.
I've been working all night on a night shift, right? I'm going home, right? I was all chilled out and relaxed, looking forward to going home.
Now you're all bitter and twisted.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry.
And now, and now you're winding me up with this. I'll tell you what, if Kane goes to Chelsea, I'll do anything you say. Anything you want.
Well, that sounds weird.
Anything.
I mean, I would.
No.
There's nothing I would say.
No, if you want me to put an Arsenal shirt on the one down Tottenham High Road, I'll do it, right? I'm proper Tottenham. I was born in Park Lane behind the ground, right?
When you think about famous F1 circuits, the likes of Silverstone, Monza, Monaco come to mind. One of these is not like the others though. Monaco is just one of a number of street circuits on the calendar, and that number's only set to rise. There's a clear difference between a traditional circuit and a street circuit. One is a purpose-built facility on private land, the other is, as it sounds, a race through the streets of a major city. Monaco's the famous example, twisting and turning through the streets of the Principality with iconic backgrounds and, let's be honest, not a lot of overtaking. But from 2026, there'll be a record 10 street circuits on the calendar. It proves that cash remains king. Each track promoter gives F1 between $20 and $60 million just for the rights to host an F1 race. And when Saudi Arabia pays upwards of $100 million, you can see why it's an attractive prospect for the sport. But is it all positive? Well, the drivers aren't that bothered. If you ask a majority of them, they'll tell you historic circuits at Silverstone, Spa, Monza, Zandvoort, they're the favourites. For the sports organisers, though, it kind of makes sense. In 2025, Monaco had a record 2.3 million strong viewership in the US alone. Meanwhile, for the British Grand Prix several weeks later, 1.5 million tuned in. So while these races may not be rip-roaring, all-out action, thrill rides we want as race fans, people are tuning in even more, and bosses can demand even more cash.
Now we're talking, son. Now we are talking. Oh, we've changed the operator as well. That's why the music levels have gone up. It's fantastic. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Andy Oladipo and Mr. Rory Jennings. A few minutes ago, we brought you the final no Googling of the evening. We asked you which goalkeeper Mo Salah scored his first Premier League goal against. And as soon as I say that, you just assume Liverpool, don't you? I think that's why you in the break got it wrong.
Yeah, well, I was thinking Liverpool. I thought for Liverpool, was it Watford?
I think it was Watford.
Vicarage Road.
There you go. Look at you. But for Chelsea, it was against Chesney. At home to Arsenal.
Oh, yeah, the 6-0.
Chelsea won 6-0.
Wenger's 1,000th game.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That was Wenger's...
Far away Chelsea are from even scoring a couple of goals against Arsenal.
That was Wenger's 1,000th game.
Was it?
Yeah.
And
we beat them 6-0.
6-0.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing day.
Amazing day for you lot. All right, listen up. The domestic football season is fast approaching and talkSPORT is taking you behind closed doors to show you what happens during a Premier League pre-season camp. We're live in Portugal, Nottingham Forest this week with new manager Oliver Glasner and vice-captain Ryan Yates joining breakfast before we push our very own Max Scott to his absolute limits in a dreaded bleep test. That's going to be brutal. And a freezing ice bath. That's even worse. He'll also catch up with skipper Morgan Gibbs-White, play pool with Brazilians Murillo and Igor Jesus, and speak to the unsung heroes that keep the club ticking behind the scenes. talkSPORT Breakfast is back tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. with Oliver Glasner and Ryan Yates, as well as former Spurs defender Toby Alderweireld. All right, though, let's have a look at the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds. And let's start Vinicius Jr., because he'll be reportedly now be staying at Real Madrid beyond the summer, despite interest from Arsenal, which I think makes a bit more sense.
I actually thought he was going to go to Arsenal. I thought it was actually going to happen. I'm surprised by this, unless the whole thing was a ploy anyway.
I'm not. You know what it tells me? They can't get Michael Olise. That's it. And Diamande's
but it was
play
about
on
Diamande.
the right, and I think Vinicius was...
See, I just felt like Vinicius Junior needed a new challenge. He's been there for 8 years. He's won 2 Champions Leagues. And I also thought, but maybe I've got this wrong, I wasn't convinced that Vinicius Junior would relish the idea of playing for Jose Mourinho. Remember off the back of what happened with Benfica?
Yeah.
I felt...
forget about that story.
Yeah.
And how Mourinho handled it.
Yeah, I felt like there was a world where maybe Vinicius Junior was up for a new challenge, up for coming to Arsenal. The Arsenal project, if you remove any bias, any tribalism, Arsenal's sporting project is one of the most enticing in football at the moment, isn't it?
It is, but can you imagine how difficult it must be to leave Real Madrid?
It must be
if they still want you, Real Madrid, the biggest club in world football ever.
No, of course. Look, Real Madrid are incomparable to anyone. But I would also say that joining the champions of England, a team that were in the Champions League final, a team
with zero European prestige.
That's good.
Zero.
That's good for Vinicius Junior. The fact that they've never won a European Cup, if you're Vinicius Junior, and hear me out, I can see you looking at me weirdly, but hear me out. What Vinicius Junior can do in terms of legacy, let's say that he was a player that arrives at Arsenal, helps them retain a league title, something they've never done in the Premier League era, helps them win a European Cup, something that they've never done in their history. If he lands at Arsenal and he's the difference maker, he has a great season, he one of his best ever, Arsenal's best player, team of the year, that kind of thing, and Arsenal win the Premier League, so they retain it for the first time ever and win a European Cup. That's legacy. It is what he would consider.
It is,
to be.
and I did let you land. There's a lot of buts and maybes and ifs there.
No, but
if they win a European Cup, which they've never won, if they retain the Premier League, which they've never done, if he becomes their best player,
but both feel, particularly with Vinicius Junior in the side for Arsenal, both feel fairly realistic, don't you think? I mean, retaining the Premier League,
no,
retaining the Premier League,
Premier League, yes, Premier League,
and they were Champions League, they were beaten finalists last year.
Agreed.
They're knocking on the door.
Never won it.
No, they haven't. But what happens is when you win a European Cup, Manchester City fans will tell you this, Chelsea fans will tell you this. The first one. The way that you get there is by knocking on the door, getting to semi-finals regularly, getting to finals, getting beaten, and then finally finding a way to lift the trophy. Yeah. I think Arsenal were, top 3 favourites to win the Champions League next year?
They should be. I almost feel like this is an agent job. I feel like his agent, as they always do.
It's just a game.
Yeah, put stories out there. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, 1 second, Arsenal really interested. Sign him up again. Don't let him go. I just think this. We see it all the time. And you can understand Mourinho getting him in the room and saying, look, you're going nowhere.
You're quite cynical.
Yeah,
you're quite cynical, but you're correct. So maybe you're not cynical, and it's me being gullible.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to James Trafford because he'll become the most expensive.
See what I mean? It's gone mad. The football. It's gone mad.
Expensive British goalkeeper in history. £40 million from Man City to Leeds. £40 million for a reserve goalkeeper.
I mean, he is a good keeper.
He's good, but he's a reserve goalkeeper.
He is a good keeper, and I see him being England's #1 very soon.
Burnley. Yeah.
But he's going to Leeds, and it's going to become England's record.
This is why I know my idea of money is gone. For Leeds to be able to spend 40 million on a goalkeeper, then we've got it wrong.
Also, it's gone wrong. Like James Trafford, for me, considering his Premier League experience and whatever else, he's a £15 million goalkeeper. Like, you know, when we were saying what should Elliot Anderson cost, we sort of decided that Elliot Anderson should be about 50 million quid.
Yeah.
By that scale,
James
Trafford's
15
million.
By the way, I think this could be the season. I know you're going to shoot me down, where Trafford takes over Pickford.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think this is it.
Yeah.
I think if he gets a move, I think Trafford's a fantastic goalkeeper. Was good for under 21s anyway, England. But I think if he plays regular football, and I think there's a chance that Thomas Tuchel starts fresh and says, okay, let's have a look at Trafford properly.
Yeah, I think so as well. But it's going to be difficult at Leeds because the pressure's going to be on him. Leeds are going to be on the back foot a lot in the season. It's a big club, no doubt. It's a big club with big expectation and big ambition. But they're going to concede a lot of goals. It's hard to make your case. Like, you know, when he was at City, you're like, okay, that's how you become England's #1. That's how you dethrone Jordan Pickford. He's going to have an uphill battle here, but it's a great signing for Leeds.
It's an area that England struggle with a lot, don't they?
What, goalkeepers?
Yeah, like they're good. Don't get me wrong. I think they're good goalkeepers. I think Nick Pope's okay. I think Trafford's okay.
No, I agree. Pickford's only okay.
Yeah, just okay.
Pickford's not
a world-class goalkeeper, are they?
No.
They struggle with those.
No, I do agree.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Chelsea. Looks like you could be willing to let Pedro Neto leave this summer.
Yeah, I bet we can.
Okay.
No, of course Pedro Neto can leave. I mean, in theory at Chelsea, anything's for sale. Yeah. Like we're a selling club. Like we are a club that's run for profit, so anything's for sale. But no, there'll be no Chelsea fans crying about Pedro Neto leaving the club. one of the most infuriating, frustrating players that I've ever seen play.
Yeah, because you see it.
Yeah.
You can see the talent, can't you?
Yeah.
And then he just doesn't deliver.
No, he's incredibly frustrating. He spends more time telling the fans to be louder than he does concentrating on his own game. Well, like, we might be a bit louder, mate. If you actually cross the ball into the box accurately, we might be a bit louder. You worry about you beating your man and getting the ball in the box, and we'll worry about the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. You know, he's one of them. Sort of wins a corner and then looks for celebrate. Yeah. Like, who do you think you are, mate? You're like, you're not the players that we've watched in that position over recent years. Pedro Rodriguez, Willian. Players. I mean, Willian at the time used to get a lot of stick. He wasn't seen as being good enough.
He's 10.
Willian 10 times a player Pedro Neto ever will be. Yeah.
All right, let's stick with Chelsea. Let's end with this one. Nicholas Jackson's future still up in the air after he returned, obviously, from that loan spell at Bayern Munich. Been linked with the likes of Aston Villa, maybe even other clubs as well. Do you want to keep him, considering how short you are up front? I mean,
no.
Is he better than Danny Welbeck?
He's better because Welbeck's 35. He's not a better player overall, I don't think. The reason why Nicholas Jackson's going to be important for Chelsea is because he's worth quite a lot of money. Like, I don't think he's worth a lot of money, and I don't really want him to play for Chelsea again. I think he's one of the most wasteful strikers I think I've ever seen. Yeah. It's not that he's not effective; he can do quite a good job.
Darwin Núñez, mate, so bad.
You know when sitters. You know, he's one of them. Like, it's like, mate, it's harder to miss.
Yeah.
How are you not scoring this? Like, it's one thing missing chances. Great strikers miss chances. Shearer missed chances. Fowler missed chances. Drogba missed chances. But this geezer misses sitter after sitter after sitter. And yeah, I would like him to go, but going back to now the value of footballers in the modern day game, Nicholas Jackson, despite being a bit part player and a player that I'm happy to see leave,
65, 70 million.
70 million quid.
What'd you buy him for? Remember?
30 from Villarreal.
He's doubled his fee.
Yeah. This is it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But no, I'd happily see him leave. I'd happily see Liam Delap leave. And if that means bringing in Danny Welbeck to ease that load up front for João Pedro, so be it.
Wow. Liam Delap, who everyone thought was going to be the next Harry Kane. Looks like it. No one wants him at the club anymore. Incredible. I think Ipswich would probably say he can come back and see what he can do for Ipswich.
Yeah, and then they go down.
Then they go down indeed. All right, we're going to get an update from John Cushion when we come back. And we got the quiz coming up as well.
Yes. I'm going to batter you today.
The Vinny Jr. situation is interesting because I think when it came out of the weekend that Arsenal were keen, we all thought, well, how can they do that deal? He's on 400 grand a week. He'd smash Arsenal's pay structure. Yeah. Real Madrid, even though he's stalling on signing a new contract, are going to want a six-figure sum. But if they sign Diamonde, as looks likely, how do the two fit into the same team? And I think what's really interesting here, and Ben Jacobs, I think, has mentioned this a couple of times, they've got the same agent, Vinicius Jr. and Jan Diamonde. So would his agency take Diamonde to Real Madrid knowing that he's going to compete with Vinicius Jr.? I don't think Vinicius Jr. to Arsenal is as fanciful as maybe it first appeared.
Now, when you look at Arsenal, they probably will. They've just got rid of Trossard.
Yeah, Trossard's gone.
So that's a space need. And they've only got Martinelli on that left-hand side. So they do need somebody else. Who is that person that's going to be able to fill in that space for them? Because there's not a large selection around the world, is there, Quickie?
No, I thought it would be Morgan Rogers, to be honest.
Love this track. This is a David Hayes walkout track.
Yeah, you can't go.
I like the fact that David Hay used this for the entirety of his career.
Really?
Everyone changes songs, different songs. This was his.
Yeah, it's
love
good,
David
it's good
Hay.
to do that though. It becomes synonymous with who you are, doesn't it?
Stopping us now.
Oh, you've got to stop singing. You are honestly the most
At least
tone
I
deaf
go
man.
for it. You go for
No, you're the most tone
At
deaf.
least I go for this.
No, but I
I'm brave enough that I
accept my limitations in life. I'm not a singer. I don't belong on a
What
West
can
End
you do?
stage. You actually.
What can you do?
Me?
What's your skill?
Just a chance, mate. Hope for the best. Turn up, hope for the best. Crack a smile, mate.
Yeah. All right, that's it. No more singing for me. By orders of Mr. Jennings. All right, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo, the voice there, of Mr. Rory Jennings, in partnership with Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Following us from 7 o'clock. Ryan Scott Douglas, host of Transfer Insiders this evening. Here's Jacob Hawley alongside him. Very quickly, Roberto Mancini has been confirmed as the new Italy manager. England international Hannah Hampton has signed a new 2-year deal with Chelsea. And now let's get an update from the Commonwealth Games. Watching for talkSPORT is Mr. John Cushing. John.
Yeah, it's wet, 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 but it's sport that's all around here in Glasgow this evening. The men's and women's 100-metre semi-finals and finals take place at a rather damp and miserable Scotstoun Stadium, but the crowd have come in. They are fully waterproofed up. I've never seen so many cagoules in my entire life. 10 men in the semis have run sub 10 seconds. Not sure we're going to see any of that tonight unless it dries up over the next couple of hours. In the women's 100 metres, Team England's Amy Hunt says she's come for a medal in her first Commonwealth Games. In the heptathlon, it's day one. The shot put and 200 metres tonight. Ireland's Kate O'Connor, the world silver medalist, leads from England's Jade O'Dowda, who won bronze 4 years ago here at the Commonwealth. 2 events, of course, this evening. The women's high jump again here tonight. It's going to be a bit slippy, but Australia's Nika O'Slagers has told me that she's targeting the Commonwealth Games record. She's cleared 2:01 this season. The record stands at 1:96. In the swimming, where they like the wet stuff, the men's 100 metres free, world champion Matt Richards aiming for his first Commonwealth gold medal for Wales. And the men's 200 metre breaststroke final sees Philippe Navaki and Oliver Dawson go head-to-head. Navaki and Dawson are the swimmers who beat Adam Peaty, of course, earlier on in the week. Boxing, 8 home nation boxers are in action this evening. 4 of them secured medals earlier on today, and there are 4 more medals we won earlier at gymnastics, as well as bowls and weightlifting as well. Tickets are still available. Check out glasgow2026.com. This is the Commonwealth Games. It's live with Natalie Sawyer and Greg Rutherford on talkSPORT 2 from 7.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much. Speak to you tomorrow, my man. All right, enough of that. It's now time for this. Billy Wiz is in studio.
Buzzing.
It's mate, honestly. We went past Billy today and was like, can't wait for today. We can't wait.
My favourite part of the show. As soon as Billy opens that door, I'm
like,
buzzing.
here we go, excited. All right, Billy.
Evening, lads.
Yesterday, did we complete it?
I think eventually, yeah. I think I can.
With a bit of a helping hand.
Yeah.
Nothing needed
no,
today.
Today, no help.
Nothing needed.
No help, no matter
today.
what. No matter what
honestly,
we say.
Yeah, honestly.
No
nothing. Zero.
Well, I can do that. You've got a bit of time as well, lads. So you're working together again. We've got another it's top 11 today.
Okay.
Earlier on, you were discussing Virgil van Dijk and John Stones. So on the back of that, I would like you to name the top 11 scoring defenders in Premier League history.
Easy.
What?
Stop. You always do this.
A little bit of
you
housekeeping.
Always do this.
Virgil van Dijk, I'm going to give you. He's 4th. So you need the next 10, basically.
Okay, we can do this, Ed.
Okay, are we working together? I've not said anything yet.
We're working together. We're a team.
Just
one
just
team, one dream.
Fullbacks count, but I'm not putting Ashley Young in there because he's number 1. He scored all his goals as a winger.
Yeah, that's fair.
So other than that, anything goes.
Okay. I can get the ball rolling here very easily.
Go on, you go first and I'll go second.
John Terry is obviously.
John Terry's obviously on there.
Number 1, 41 goals.
Wow.
By the way,
I think I can get another one in there.
Go on.
Gary Pallister.
No.
Do you want to put him in?
Wait, are you sure?
Wait, I think he did score a lot. No.
Are you sure? Hang on, Addy.
No, I said a name.
Let's go for the bankers. Can we just go for the bankers?
Go for the bankers.
Then we'll talk about Pallister another time. There's 2 bankers. David Unsworth and Steve Bruce are both bankers.
Yeah.
Unsworth and Bruce.
I say put them in as well.
Unsworth, number 2, 38 goals.
Wow.
And Bruce.
You want to put Bruce in?
Yeah, Steve Bruce has got to be in.
Not on the list, lad.
How?
What?
Didn't he have a season where he scored?
See, this is the arrogance of you. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, it was good with Unsworth, though.
You know, Brucey might have done a lot in Division 1.
Oh.
Premier League only, lads.
But Steve Bruce had a season where he scored like 18 goals or something, didn't he?
Maybe in Division 1. Maybe you're talking 1989.
Oh, my God. Oh,
All right,
that's a-
all right. No,
It's only one post.
Okay,
All
okay,
right,
right.
okay.
We've hit the post. Right, let's think.
All right.
Another high-scoring defender. Fullbacks count. Who you got for me, Addy? You're looking very vacant over there.
If fullbacks count, I'm going Ian Hart, Leeds, free kicks all day long.
Do you want to put him in?
I'm putting Ian Hart. He's got to be.
It's a great shout. Number 5.
Bang!
28
Superb.
goals.
That is superb.
That is superb. And I was thinking
that is superb.
Remember how good his free kicks were?
That is superb from you.
Great free kick taker.
Wait, what kind? Are you allowed to tell us what kind of talent? No, just tally. How many goals did Ian Hart score?
No, it doesn't matter.
I
I
just
can
want to
tell
know.
you what Ian Hart, because you've got him. He got 28.
28 goals.
So far, obviously John Terry's 41, he's top. So the lowest you've got so far is 28.
Okay. So can I just ask you a question?
Go on.
Do you think Branislav Ivanovic is on this list?
You tell me. You watch Chelsea weekend.
Wait, let's see. Think of high-scoring defenders, or think of defenders that played in the Premier League for a long time, like longevity. They don't need many to rack up the goals if they're there a long time. Anyone?
Mate,
it's not much going on over there, Addy. Looks very quiet.
I've got 2. You've got 2, sir.
Okay.
About 4 or 5 minutes on this, lads.
I hate that. I hate when the clock starts.
Okay. Right. Your Ian Hart was a block.
That was a great one. So I need you to get me a blind.
Mate, I've got you, David Unsworth. That's huge.
Good shout. Good shout, David Unsworth.
Do you think? Oh, hang on. I've got one. I've got a shout.
Go on.
I'm a bit worried about it.
Oh, I've got one.
Julian Dix. I'm going for.
Do you want to put him in?
Yes.
Julian Dix.
He is bottom of the list.
Yes.
So that gives you a.
With how many?
With 24.
Okay, so 24 is the benchmark. That's a lot of goals.
A lot.
Oh, no, sorry.
Dix.
There's one more with less. There's one with 23.
Okay, I think if you're saying if you're talking longevity, Seamus Coleman was in the league.
Nah, but did he ever?
Did he not score for Everton?
Did he ever?
Okay, wait. Started as a left back. This is up to you. Gareth Bell started as a left back.
No, don't be ridiculous.
Gareth Bell started as a left back.
He's obviously not giving you that. That's pathetic.
Not even that.
Mate, that's like when Lionel Messi was trying to. That's when Lionel Messi was trying to get Cucurella sent off. It was pathetic. That is what you've just done, mate.
Wait! Stop talking to me. You've got 3 minutes and stop.
Still need number 3. Still.
Okay, so Julian Dix is in, and that's so 25 goals. Who scored 25? I think, mate, that's a lot of goals. 25.
So many. I can't believe that.
I can't believe it's so
There's
high.
strikers that haven't got that many.
Okay, Manchester United centre halves.
Vidic, Rio, Dennis Owen's in.
Dennis Owen
is in.
Dennis Owen is in.
Don't you dare.
Yeah,
Dennis Owen has to
That's
be
a banker.
Come on.
Owen is in.
Not on the list.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
How then Dennis Owen not in this? Hang on. How can Dennis Owen not be in?
Oh my God.
Hang on. Do you think, okay, would Tony Adams be on this list? Just longevity.
You think he got 25 goals? Adams.
25?
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
I can't believe that. I can't believe the Owen shot.
Hang on a minute. What about those Man City players that ended up like? Do you remember when Joao Cancelo was like creating and all that? You know,
No way he got 25. No way.
Do you want any help at all?
Hang on. Do you think Gary Cahill? Cahill was a good goal scorer, you know.
Bolton, he scored a few.
Scored a few at Chelsea. Gary Cahill.
He's on the list.
Yes! Get up there.
Got 28 Premier League goals.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Branislav Ivanovic might have then, if Gary Cahill did.
Go on then.
No, mate, okay, no, I'm not doing it yet. We're not there yet. How confident are you about Gary Pallister? Do we need to just do it?
Yeah.
Gary Pallister.
Want to put him in?
Yeah.
He's not there. He's not there.
Addy.
That is your. Usually we have a 3-post rule, so you're on your.
Okay, no more mistakes. No more mistakes, Addy. Come on. Centre back.
Doesn't matter if you get another
Did
one.
Vincent Kompany not score that many?
No, he can't have done.
I just think of the Leicester goal.
There for a long time. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I don't think he scored that many. Oh, he gave me a look. 1 second.
Trent
I
Alexander-Arnold
don't remember him scoring that many.
I was just stretching.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm locking that in.
He's not on the list.
I didn't think so, no. He assisted, but he never scored that many.
You've got about 90 seconds on this. Do you want any help at all?
No.
Yeah, we need some help.
I would go down the fullback route. That will get you a few
Ashley
more.
Cole.
No, right position. You've mentioned this player's club.
Evra.
Other side to Seamus Coleman. Scored 32 Premier League.
Leighton Baines.
Yes, third on the list.
How many did he get?
32.
Yeah.
Wow.
Leighton Baines, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
How many we got left?
We
How
need to
many we got left?
We've got 4 more left. There's a couple of former Chelsea players on this. Rory.
Goal scoring defenders at Chelsea.
One of them went to a few other big clubs as well.
Think of Chelsea centre halves.
What's Afro?
David Luiz.
No.
We just smashed the free kicks to Alex. He couldn't score.
Dan Petrescu.
He was close.
Dan
But
Petrescu.
he's not in it. He was like 2 goals
damn,
away.
I thought I pulled a blinder out the bag there. Who else was scoring goals for us? Back. back then.
Would have played with David Luiz, one of them. Same in the title-winning
Alex Cesar Azpilicueta.
Conte side. No, other side. Left foot.
Cahill.
Free kicks.
Oh,
Spanish.
yes, Marcos Alonso.
Yeah. 26
Would
goals
never
he
have got that.
No, he scored all the time. I should have
never.
got that. He scored 2 against Tottenham.
How many more have we
You
got?
need 3 more.
Ah,
One of them I've never heard of this player.
Never heard of him.
So it must have been
What club?
Newcastle, Villa, Everton, right back.
Hang on.
Apparently.
Newcastle.
Stephen Carr.
No, right first name.
Newcastle, Villa, Everton, right back. Stephen Pienaar, no.
No.
Wait, Newcastle and Everton.
and who else? What other club?
Villa, apparently.
Steve.
Oh, we got a rap.
Who?
Go on, give us some.
Steve Watson.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, the ginger fella.
Go on, rest.
William Gallas was in at 9.
Oh, you play for your club.
Yeah,
Useless.
I pretend he didn't exist. after
Jolien
what he did.
Lescott as well.
Jolien
Oh,
Lescott.
wow. How many you get for Wolves? Man City?
He got 23 overall.
Wow.
Jolien
Right, you listen to
Lescott.
Drive on talkSPORT. Adi Oladipo, Rory Jennings. I can't wait for tomorrow's quiz. I can't
wait for tomorrow.
Can't wait. Up next,
Billy,
Ryan's
tomorrow
got
is
about
me
this.
versus
We're
Addy. I
back
don't want him on my
tomorrow,
team.
4 o'clock.
I don't want him on my team.
I've read this a couple of times now. I can't help but think when he comes up with lines about people criticising the refereeing decisions and puts lines in his quotes such as "I'm sorry you missed it all," I can't help but think there's a little dig towards the head of UEFA there, Alexander Seferin.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Obviously,